I appreciate that.
All right.
Okay.
We are here.
All right, so
We are
Yeah.
live.
are we ready then?
Should be live.
This is the start of the recording of the video.
Good luck to
This
you.
is hopefully gonna work.
We'll hit the start
So,
button.
Yep, that's good. That's good.
And
we are here with
roll a
the Empire
d6,
Games
I guess.
final. This past season, well, we have 26 teams.
I can see the
26 teams eliminated. We're down to 2.
Yeah, it's got it cuts it off, but I can't see.
We've got Halfling Justice and R.O.U.S, a Skaven versus Halfling matchup. We need to go look at the challenge bracket to see who's still live, who wins the challenge bracket from here. Just to see what everybody else was thinking about before this finals.
Get your bomber.
I did.
But yeah, I think we've got quite a game on our hands. I think there's been quite a bit of activity before this game. Both people were playing like an inducement game.
So anything fan factor be straight up roll. So kick off.
All right, so Juan has opted to take Bomber Dribble Snot, and that gave 550 inducements to Wayne, who has picked up Halfling Master Chef, Griff Oberwald, and Rumbelow. Wayne does have both his trees. He was debating whether or not he was going to have to fire his trees to pick up some better inducements. So who won the? So Wayne is on defense here.
Bold choice.
Obviously, we've talked a lot about this game going forward, and it'll be interesting to see how do you feel about kicking off as a halfling team.
I think this hurts Wayne's chances of winning the game. Like a strong drive here. I wonder how many if Wayne was able to get extra halflings. Wayne does have 16 players for this game, so he's got 5 extras in the reserves there. It looks like the players. Wayne's got his chef re-rolls there on the side. That's those Wee Warrior bottle caps in the end zone. He's got those set up. We won't know what the chef is going to do until we actually roll the dice for it.
Right.
And I think that's going to make a big difference. It looks like Juan opted to expand his roster. He picked up an extra blitzer and what looks like an extra lineman. And so...
For Sharpies, I mean. Thank you so much.
So he's opted to go to 12 players, and then hiring Bomber puts him to 13. So both players have a bit of a bench here. How many? I guess we don't know the reroll count until after the chef rolls. But right now, I think Juan's got 3 rostered rerolls plus a leader in the pocket, and the halflings have 1 rostered reroll plus whatever the chef gives them from here.
Yeah, we'll wait to set this reroll thing up for a shot, but we will go ahead and make sure that it is set onto turn 1. And now we'll have to see. We're getting a little. This is like a kind of a classic setup for the halfling defense.
Yeah, so this is actually like a slight departure from what he normally does, right? He likes to nestle all the halflings together, and then hide your really important players behind the halflings. So here it looks like he's set up kind of a screen. Did Wayne keep the hefties on the roster? No, he cut the hefties. So the hefties are out of here. No hefties on the roster this time. He picked up hefties against me because I have a lot of frenzy, but the hefties are good against frenzy models. So I don't think they're bad. And the Finns can do some strategic stuff here and there, like you can park somebody on the Rat Ogre just to try to keep it pinned up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a lot of halflings and just some trees. So obviously these trees are kind of the pride and joy of this halfling team. You've got one with movement 3, block dodge. The other one is block dodge So some podgy trees.
Right.
You're gonna leave it open. Obviously, the biggest threat on this team for them is that rat ogre.
Yeah, and I think if the rat ogre's hitting the trees, that's actually probably a mistake. The thing is, the trees are armor 11. I think the rat ogre, like on average, about half the time it hits a halfling is going to remove it from the table. Right. A good chunk of the time it's going to remove it from the table, and a lot of times it's going to remove it from the table permanently. Right. And with 16 players on the roster, you really want to chew through some of these halflings on your offensive drive, just to try to empty out the bench a little bit. I mean, it's like there's going to be a winner, right? So a lot of times, if you don't think you can win in regulation, you want to tie it up, send it to overtime, and depending on what the other team looks like, Juan's already kind of like scraped by in the season on a game that probably should have gone to overtime, in which he would have lost. But you know, I think it's a viable strategy in this matchup to just murder halflings and then send it to overtime. So
looks like we're getting our rat ogre on the line.
Okay.
To start.
It's not lined up against the tree, but it's lined up possibly to blitz a halfling.
Yeah. There's this
it could be the plan is trying to get it. I'm gonna guess from the setup here that the right inside the wings you've got Griff and Rumbelow kind of in the backfield.
Yeah.
Set up, and looks like Juan is trying to set up pretty aggressively to go after
one of them.
Something in the backfield.
Yeah. So Juan randomed stand firm on this rat ogre right before the game started, and so I think this rat ogre. I wonder if his plan is to try to get to Griff and then hit Griff as much as he can. So I think that's the way I would be tempted to play it. Is just try to have the rat ogre bully Griff relentlessly. The more he bullies Griff, the better your chances of winning the game are. Right. With the prehensile tail and the stand firm, that makes it even difficult for Griff to get like a blitz on the rat ogre to open up some space and get away, right? Prehensile tail tackle is a very obnoxious setup to try to dodge away from. So
yeah, stand firm also making it so it's going to be difficult to get away from it, even if you try to get another hit on it.
Yeah.
Luckily, though, there is Juggernaut with Rumbelow.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing where
you have to blitz with Rumbelow, but yeah. I think blitzing the rat ogre with Rumbelow is going to feel bad if you have to choose between blitzing the rat ogre or a gutter runner. Usually my MO is kill the gutter runners, and then the Skaven player has to like win an honorable way. I mean, getting the rat ogre off the table. This game's interesting because like both players have really high priority targets, and I wonder how much of this game is going to be how many times the blitzes are going to be spent against those priority targets, right?
Right. Yeah. It looks like we're getting close to an offensive setup.
Yep. Both players really thinking about their setup.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. You know, you get your name on the wall after the result of this game. So.
And you get to walk home with a nice new trophy from the Games Workshop loot box.
That's true. That's exactly right. I forgot about that we had that. That's Chekhov's trophy. I think we put that trophy up for grabs back in January or something. So looks like Juan's trying to do a blitz setup. He's scared of a blitz here. Juan has kick and Wayne does not, right?
Alrighty then.
So Wayne's putting it in the sweet spot.
Ball is up. We're going to see where this ball's going, and then we get to see how strong this chef is going to be.
2 to the 7.
Straight back.
Okay, Master Chef. Okay. Wow, that's terrible. Let's try this last one. Got that
All
one.
right, Chef is 1 for 3.
So we've got one
Now,
roll.
just roll my
2
blitz.
rerolls because he's got a rostered one.
2.
And then Juan has 3.
It's an 11.
1 leader
You guys
and 2 rostered.
All right.
So Wayne's probably... the thing is, if you want the...
Okay. So one of my players at random. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We got some sort of.
Oh, one is this tree.
2+ to be stunned.
Okay.
Okay.
We got an officious ref on the first kickoff event.
Oh man, that was a 2 that he rolled as well, right? Like that tree was one number away from being ejected from the game with no recourse, and that would have probably tilted Wayne off the face of the planet at the very beginning of this game.
Yeah. That would have been a huge disappointment before, like, any actual dice are rolled in the game to lose a player like that.
Yeah, actually, I think like if that tree gets ejected there, I think Juan's chances of winning the game have got to be upwards of 80%.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, just because at that point you have 3 impactful players outside of halflings.
Yeah.
And eventually, that Rat Ogre's going to get to one of them.
All right.
We got some blind hits going on.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. I want to throw a bomb right here.
Did that halfway?
Bomber is in the field.
He put Bomber on the field.
Alright. It's accurate.
So
Catches.
yeah, tries to catch, and he try to intercept and then try to catch. So he just has
All right.
Okay,
so he
for him to catch
Juan
it,
used the bomb right away
okay.
to try to open up a lane to Griff.
So he catches it.
Alright, I'll come in.
Okay.
All right. So the once per game for Bomber has been used and has detonated that halfling.
He's
Snake Eyes does not break halfling armor.
the Rat Ogre's going to blitz Griff.
Okay.
He does.
All right. So he's going straight after Griff.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hit on.
Okay.
Halfway. Not to follow. And yeah.
All right. Griff is down. Big roll here.
That's
No
awesome.
armor break.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, armor
Yeah,
breaks.
you see, so Wayne allowed the follow there. I think mostly just to try to get the Rat Ogre away from any sort of friends.
Yeah.
And maybe set up
A counterattack. Yeah.
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 Because if those two halflings don't get marked, they can run over and give an assist for Rumble to come in and get 2 dice.
Yeah, I think if I'm Juan here, I screen the Rat Ogre to keep Rumble away. And I mean, you might even throw a foul on Griff, right? If he's on the ground, you take all the armor shots you can at him, right? I mean, generally, when you're playing against halflings, you just need to mark the halflings anyway. So I think those halflings not getting marked is very unlikely.
Gets stunned by a vicious rep. On it too.
I guess one thing to say in this game too is that one rolled a couple of randoms before the game. One of the rounds he rolled on the non-one turn scoring gutter runner was sneaky get.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you do throw the sneaky get foul here, right? Because if you roll a 10 or a 12 the hard way, your guy gets ejected, but you've taken Griff out of the game, right?
Yeah.
And that tree missing actually lets Juan just kind of do whatever he wants in Wayne's backfield.
Yeah.
Which is kind of disgusting.
Your other half.
Another one of those things is, I think, they try to make the kickoff events commensurate to the probability of them coming up. But when one of those ones on the ends comes up to the extreme, it feels really bad.
Yeah, especially when it goes not your way, right?
Yes.
I'm willing to bet this is probably the first time Griff has been hit on turn 1 this season.
Yeah. He's planning out how to get there.
Push once.
Alright, so he's got to do a go for it, I'm guessing?
Yep.
That's what I think I heard.
It's good.
Yeah. So Juan is selling out on this, on trying to take Griff out of the game here. I don't blame him. I pointed out to Wayne that for the in the game that we are like his whole postseason has hinged on Griff, right? All right, thrower's got the ball. Is he actually passing, or is he just going to camp in the backfield? I would be tempted to camp in the backfield with Griff down. One tree tied up, one tree stunned, Rumbelow back there. I don't think the Halflings can mount a anything resembling an offense against this thrower. Moving this thrower up's a little cavalier, I think.
Yeah, I could definitely agree. Like, I think there is nothing that can threaten it in the backfield. And I think the thing that could happen is if something goes wrong here, like, and you're setting yourself up in a position where, you know, if something does not work out in your favor, you could be perilous.
Wow. So he did not break armor there. He had a +4 foul and did not break armor. Actually, I wonder if Juan has moved his ball into a bad place. Can Rumbelow get to the ball carrier? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think Rumbelow, with a push, Rumbelow can get to the ball carrier. And that tree over there can actually knock that lineman out of the way. And that'll clear up a lane for Rumbelow to come running through. I think if I were Juan, I would have kept my throw in the backfield. We'll see if he coughs up the ball here.
No, we can't.
I think he's got a chance to.
Try not to stay.
He's like put all of his people onto one side of the field, right?
Yes.
Okay, he's moved the thrower back. He's moved the guy who did the dodge away back. Okay. Alright, so he's shoring up the defense on the thrower just a little bit. I still think there can be some halflings that get back there.
Pretty good turn. Yeah.
Alright.
I hit Griff with everything I could. Ran over, a foul. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's back to Wayne's turn. Or I should say, Wayne finally gets to roll dice during his turn. He's kind of in a jam here, right?
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Now, I think if he gets aggressive, he can actually get the ball here, but Griff is in trouble.
Like in the first 3 turns, knocked him down. Like
you have to decide whether you want to do Operation Rescue Griff, or maybe you just pray that Griff. Maybe you stand Griff up and do nothing.
So he needs some stab.
Because it would be a 4 up dodge away with tackle.
That would have definitely.
Okay, Bomber is now based, right? Yeah, I think Wayne moved a halfling over there. The goal with that being that you just want to make bombers less accurate, right?
You said Weeping Blake, which was the worst possible kill. It was actively bad, right? It turned.
Okay, so he's gone there. Okay, so I'm guessing he's trying to block one of these Skaven away then instead of basing Bomber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he can get a halfling onto the ball carrier. He's moving those other halflings defensively.
But it was really quiet. The audience was really quiet.
Tree's still out of condition. I think the chances of the halfling that's laying on the ground on the line standing up and that tree throwing a 3 die are pretty great.
Seems like you gotta have something to start going your way here. Like you want to start peeling.
Yeah.
Some of these players.
We're not balanced.
Wayne's lucky to not have a player peeled that turn, I think, right? 2 armor breaks on halflings,
Okay, I'll throw
2
this block.
attempts at
Okay.
armor breaks on Griff. Tree doesn't take root here.
No, I'll just block him down.
He has
He's got block. Okay. I'll take the POW.
That wasn't cocked.
Was it on this? You consider that cocked? Okay.
Only if it's something good.
It's only if it benefits. Yes.
All right, they're testing out the dice tray there.
Okay.
Was that the fend guy? Did Juan miss a chance to fend there?
Possibly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Rumbelow can get a hit on the ball carrier here.
Standard up past turn.
I think you leave Griff on the ground unless you're going to dodge away with him, right?
Probably.
The question would be, would you use his once per game if you fail the dodge? 4 up, that's a tough ask, right?
Yeah.
You're like a 75% chance to get away. I think you have to play to try to win the game, right?
Yeah.
Losing Griff, like sacrificing Griff, might be a way to win the game.
Yeah. I almost wonder if there would have been a world where bringing the halfling that just moved over to mark the Skaven. I don't know which of those rats is marking those 2
All
halflings.
right, so Rumble's going to blitz this guy.
But
Somebody's
1,
got a blue
2,
ring.
3, 4, 5. Hit him on 6.
Okay, so we're going for a chain push here. Chain push the rat ogre away, I think.
So I'm going to chain push into where Griff is. Push Griff to there.
Yep.
Okay. No follow.
All right. Yeah. So he's used that to try to get Griff into the open. All right. Maybe we'll see an armor break sometime before the second half.
yeah. Does Rumble's once per game not add 5?
That does not.
To the armor roll?
Does not add 5 to an armor or injury roll.
Ah.
A once per game mighty blow +5. Though it would be incredible.
Yeah.
On that topic, I had a proposed name for one of our leagues.
All right,
And it
so
was,
stand up.
Murders of
Dodge
the
out.
Rude Morgue.
Mm.
You like that one? I
That's a
kind of
good
like that one.
This is 3,
That's a good
4.
Yeah. I feel like,
6,
if you have
7.
to blitz with
Rush.
Rumbelow, so he's able to get away.
Rush. Run away.
All right, so Griff is free.
Yep.
So Wayne felt it was more important to free Griff than it was to try to go for the ball. And maybe he's correct. But I think Rumbelow could have hit the ball carrier. I think Rumbelow might have been in trouble. But the thing is Juan would have had like a bunch of his team all kind of tied up. And if the ball is loose in the backfield, so you can sneak one of these halflings around the other side. Maybe you tie up Bomber.
Maybe we'll see an armor break before that. That's what.
Will is stealing our commentary.
Yeah, he is. You get your own commentary, Will.
It would have been more entertaining if we had a Bashy team make it to the last game.
Yeah, I think I can see the reasoning for wanting to get Griff out. I think that making.
I think Wayne's chances of winning the game without Griff are pretty low.
And I think that Rumbelow is there as a chance to improve pretty highly the chances if you're able to get Rumbelow in a position where you can hit the impactful players. But if it comes between winning the game and having a chance, it's you would sacrifice the player that literally can't carry the ball for you.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
I mean, if I'm one, I'm hitting one of the star players every turn if I can, right? I do think making him have to choose between Rumbelow and Griff here is Sophie's choice, a real Sophie's choice of star players.
What is it?
Just
All right.
so it would be
All right.
Okay.
We switch over turns. Yes. Turn number 2.
so
So we've got some. What do we have in the way of blocks this turn? Not many, which is good. That's where you want to be with halflings, right? You really don't want to give your opponent a ton of blocks. Officious Riff on that tree really hurt Wayne's chances of putting up a good defense here. Taking that tree out of commission for a minimum of 2 turns is kind of crazy. So.
Yeah, and like Juan was set up to kind of avoid that half of the field anyway.
Yeah, but what the speed 3 tree could readjust, right? The thing is that speed 3 tree would have provided like a pretty good screen against the Rat Ogre.
So you're gonna blitz on Rumbelow here.
Here, I have to follow this. See.
Okay, so Rumbelow's down. We don't have an armor break.
Not quite yet.
Oh, it's cocked. Yeah, okay.
Why are you re-rolling that?
Because it was like cocked.
That was clearly a 2.
Okay.
We're gonna re-roll every time it's on.
It's like.
All right, we got a little bit of debate about the lip there.
Yeah.
All right.
They're adjusting the lip.
The lip is gone.
Yeah,
Lip has been removed. All right.
Okay, stunned.
There we go.
All right, so Rumbelow is stunned. Order has been restored to the dice tray. Okay, so Rumbelow's down. Does Juan foul Rumbelow as aggressively as he fouled Griff?
There's slightly better odds to remove Rumbelow.
You are?
But
yeah, actually, the odds are complicated, right? It's not. You're more likely to get an armor break, but Rumbelow has thick skull. So there's if you roll 2 4s, then Rumbelow doesn't leave the pitch, and your guy gets kicked off on the injury roll.
Right.
So it's complicated, right? That's the determination there. The thing about double 4, double 5, double 6 is that if your guy gets ejected, you at least took the model off the pitch. Right, that's why Dribble and Drool and Borak are so good. They're even, if you roll double 3s with Dirty Player plus 2, effectively, you still get to remove the player.
Right.
Yeah.
The interesting thing here will be if Juan is going to play the stalling game.
Or just get the TD.
Looks like he has a pretty clear route to it currently.
So Bomber's on the field. So I think you're not planning to just score if you've got Bomber on the field. You want to use Bomber's. You want to use his ability of a second blitz or a pseudo wizard every turn. You really want to use that. He rolled the POW, of course.
Not following up.
Okay. If this halfling goes down here, this is bad. We have yet to see a halfling armor break.
So then
I would have been tempted to put the thrower in the backfield, and I'm even more tempted to put the thrower in the backfield now.
Yeah, because like you have players in scoring position that can get like if you need to hit the escape button.
Well, he's speed 7, and he has accurate, right? Like Juan's thrower has accurate, so that means you could throw 13 squares from wherever the thrower ends up. Is a 2, which is crazy. That's a huge swath of the field. That's a half. That's like a full half of the field. He's debating where to go. I would measure 10 squares from Griff. That's what I would measure. The first thing I would do.
Yeah.
I'd measure 10 squares from Griff, and then I would put the thrower 12 squares from Griff. And then you've got 13 squares, right? You end up with a square to spare,
Right?
effectively.
Yeah. There is like one interesting scenario I'm seeing develop here, possibly in the middle with the trees. Currently, as it sits, foul with not an armor break.
No armor break. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Took an opportunity foul on Run Below. Nothing happened.
Yep. All right. Turn 2 flipped over.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got a good spot now where this halfling next to you, I don't know which tree that is, with the green plumage, can move up, give the assist, and also give the assist for the other to stand up.
The two trees are traditionally named Elmleaf and Madlim. So Elmleaf is the green one, Madlim is the red. For those following along at home. The red tree is the speed 3 tree because the red ones go faster. So yeah, you could throw the halfling, right? And see what happens, because if you knock over the thrower, you're throwing the halfling as like your bomber,
Right?
sorta, pseudo.
Yeah, but your bomb can theoretically survive and then get up and do more things.
Right.
So, like, my game against Nathan, traumatic. Look at how little he brings to the babies.
They're talking about my game. Sorry, I'm gonna listen to this. Everybody, make sure that the events are represented
I'm looking
accurately.
forward to that. It's not when.
1, 2, 3.
I've been waiting for.
Maybe Madlim stands up and throws the halfling.
Right. He does not have to roll to stand up. Just remember. I guess I'll stand him up. So take root.
Those giant
And then stand up. It's free. But that.
The speed 3 tree is up. Next turn, he'll get to participate in the game.
Yeah, it's right.
It's only a 2-turn nap.
He at least has tackle zones this turn, right? It's an improvement over the last couple of turns.
Yeah. Also, is like in an interesting position when it comes to if the Radiguard wants to try to go after Griff this upcoming turn. I would imagine Griff is going to be somewhere on the opposite side.
Oh,
going to rush.
He's going for it.
Missed.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Rush.
Oh, second rush from the tree.
Okay.
Okay, the tree. He has moved the tree into a more defensible position. Now you'll notice this when Wayne plays. He usually tries to keep the trees within 2 squares of each other if he can. If he can help it, those trees stay 2 squares apart. It's a tongue twister. And the reason being is that then they provide complementary tackle zones, and they serve as a good pivot point. You can have players run around the back of them, and it's hard for the opponent to answer both trees at the same time. Right? It's not easy. It's not easy for them to do something about both.
Feels like the field of play has almost shifted 90 degrees.
Yes. Yeah.
From the start.
They set up long ways,
Two,
but
three,
with some of the previous stream setups had a horizontal. They would actually be more
First and Blitz
apt
Bomber.
for horizontal play now than long ways.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
This
6.
is actually
Hit him
secretly
with 7.
Death Bowl
3 dice.
finals.
All right, Griff is blitzing. Griff is blitzed bomber.
Cool.
Yeah.
At least we're all getting bad dice.
I think you've been knocking everybody down.
But I haven't been breaking the law.
We love it.
Oh gosh.
We love the table banner, don't we, folks?
Part of the reason we
I
put
would-
audio for the stream
Somebody
on
does.
is for those little moments like that.
Yeah, now that we're here, now that we're in the game moment, now that
Pretty
I'm
sure
not
it's not
talking about
even.
the game to Wayne in person, I feel liberated to say that I hope both players have a miserable game. One of these players has to win this game, which is unfortunate for me. But I hope both players have a horrible
Are they in
time.
the
You
future?
could have Morgan Thorg with a steel chair come through.
Yeah.
and just-
I wish the Bloodspot, the steel chair, could come flying
Here's
into this
loader.
game.
Okay.
We should have had that as like a special star player
Nope.
option you could take.
All right, something happened there.
I ate some bomber.
7.
Takes bomber. Not me. All good God-fearing people hate bomber.
Is that Griff's once per game? What was that?
That's fair. Not even this like you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's easier. To play bomber.
Rush
Purpose versus.
and dodge. So here's the rush. That is cocked.
Get them to talk about what you like bomber.
And dodge.
Right, so he's moving Griff. He's moving Griff to be more of a threat around the ball. I think he. I suspect.
Oh yeah, it should be here or here.
Yep. We forgot that you had to actually select one of those.
Yeah, well I didn't
So the
follow.
3-die block
Ended up in a push, yeah. So I think it was like push, skull.
Yeah.
Was the result? So he's okay. So he's
So that was one rush. Rush again.
all right. So he's moving Griff towards the trees.
Looks like he's gonna get an assist to get 3 dice
Yep.
on the Skaven, and then
Okay.
Sure
Sure
beat.
feet.
sure feet.
Nope.
Oh! Griff snaked something. Okay, so that
I don't want to hear any more
is
about how hard luck is.
that could be a
That is
debacle.
clearly not the case.
Breaks them.
Okay.
9. Okay, Griff's armor is broken.
I'll show you a little bit since we're talking about the exact same. Okay, it did. Yeah.
Snakes, snake eyes stuns Griff.
He's still good.
Griff is
Still
out
good.
for a turn. I think the chances of Griff getting stepped on here are pretty high. You just gotta take opportunity fouls on Griff, right? Even if it results in the removal of like a player or two. And actually, this is not a bad place for like Bomber to start
So one
fouling.
yellow on stones.
Bomber gets kicked out at the end of the drive anyway, so he's kind of like a free piece to foul with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is gonna be. I mean, of the places that Griff could land, that
he's
is
a
like
little,
a better one.
He's a little safer here for sure.
Yeah, it's harder to get extra assists around onto
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And the tree's gonna cut off most of those.
Yeah.
So that's pretty. That is one fortunate thing.
Right.
Oh.
You still throw the opportunity foul though.
Are the dice.
See where it is. 2 dice there.
What? Pow? Can't believe it. Can't find a pow on 3 dice.
All right. The Radiger.
Breaks. White wood.
Okay, so we have a broken. We have a stun. Okay, the halfling's getting picked on.
Dice there. 2 down.
Just this one.
Yep.
All right, a block.
Oop.
That halfling is safe. Man, this halfling armor is durable.
Yeah. That's the secret text of Sunti is that your opponent only takes a 6 to break their armor.
Yeah.
That's why.
Unless they're a snotling, in which case you only roll a 4.
Or for a fox, you roll a 10.
Well, there was a stun
Yeah, this
on
fox doesn't
kickoff,
have it coming.
and Rumble's armor.
I would hate foxes more if they were named. Well, I would hate foxes more if they were 9 speed, didn't have stunty, had 8 armor, could take general agility skills primary and mutations secondary, and were named gutter runners. I would hate foxes more then, but
Yeah. Hey, don't diss the gutter runner at home.
foxes I feel like actually fairly balanced piece. It's like fox is really interesting piece. Really interesting piece.
Yeah. I'm glad I finally get to play with them a little bit, doing some gnomes. So, but we're here for other halfling matters, or other stunty matters at this point.
Yeah.
We've got Rumble is still getting crowded here.
Yeah, Rumble was stunned last turn, so he didn't get to do anything. But the tree... So the tree... Wayne made the 2 rushes for the tree last turn. So that last turn may have looked pretty bad to like the untrained eye. But I think Wayne's priority targets at this point is the Rat Ogre. Because I think if the Rat Ogre is off the table, his chances of winning go up. I would not be shocked if we see...
Alright.
Alright.
Good.
Okay. So...
3 dice.
Let's see what the Rat Ogre does to this poor halfling. Rat Ogre blocks the halfling down. Was this a blitz? No, Rat Ogre splashes the halfling down.
One breaks, one mighty blow.
Mighty blow. We have another stun. Okay. It took mighty blow to break halfling armor here.
True living up to... We're putting the stun in stunty today.
Yeah. Alright, so that was a blitz. So... Alright, so it looks like Juan is going to use the ball carrier to help foul Griff here, which is wild. This is the unorthodox wand play here. He's even set up the ball carrier in such a way where if that tree throws the hit against that dude.
See how much I like being able to continue armor breaks and stuff. It's already
This is going to be a very interesting setup.
yeah. And mighty blows. It's like more files.
So we've got a lineman and one of the gutter runners, I believe, back there right now, alongside the thrower on Griff.
Yeah. I wonder who's going to throw the foul.
Yeah, the fouls that Juan's thrown so far have both just been with rookie linemen. So I think he is afraid of getting that gutter runner sent off, but, which is fair.
Yeah, I don't think I would use that either. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to say, right?
I mean, that gutter runner, I think, if the game goes on, like, if you don't remove Griff and you get sent off, like, it's bad because that is a piece that could contend with Griff because it's like I guess like a tackle wrestle.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about Sneaky Git is you're like incentivized to throw fouls that aren't likely to break armor, because if you roll Snake Eyes on it and you didn't break armor, no big deal, right? That's the big thing about Sneaky Git is that you can throw some fouls that otherwise would look pretty bad, and you're just fishing for like a big hit somewhere in there. Juan can basically throw 2 fouls on Griff here, right? Because Griff was stunned. Griff was stunned the previous turn. So Griff's going nowhere after this turn. So even if this foul falls apart, Griff's not going anywhere.
So plus
All right. Was that bomber?
breaks.
That will break.
Yep, 10 will break. 5 is another stun. Wayne is getting so lucky on these injury rolls right now.
Yeah. I mean, it started off with a very unlucky roll with that officious ref. So, starting to even out a little bit. I think the interesting thing now for me, looking at this board, is that Rumbelow is not currently marked. So Rumbelow is able to kind of get up and get into a position where he can do something.
Right.
He might just kind of, he could throw kind of like almost a strafing blitz on a Skaven and then get back into position.
Even with all of the absolute trouncing that Wayne is kind of taking right now, he still has his full team.
Oh, it's gonna bomb.
All right, we're gonna bomb toss. Tossing it at Madeline.
Okay. He blows himself up.
Okay, so bomber is dropping
him down.
Let's see if Juan rerolls this. This might be worth rerolling because this also ends the turn, right?
Yeah.
Depends on how much extra damage you wanted to do.
Yeah, he has set up like fairly reasonably. Like I think if I.
All right, so he's using the loner. Fails the loner, so he loses a reroll here. You're a little bit more incentivized to take these risks on.
The halfling that's stoned. Nope. Halfling that's not stoned. Yes. Okay. Armor for the halfling that got hit. Breaks.
Okay, so he break armor.
He's
stunned another halfling.
Stunty.
Breaks.
That's gonna break
Armor broken on bomber. Bomber is stunned. Okay. So no bombs for a couple of turns.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Wayne turn 3.
We're still in Operation Rescue Griff mode. Now, I do think Juan has been a little undisciplined with his ball. And this might be a turn where he gets punished for that.
Right. Yeah, just it is.
Because
you have plenty of ways for something to go wrong here.
there's a real chance that
I feel like that was a good joke.
Take you credit for making jokes.
the tree comes in here for a blitz on the ball carrier. One, just because you would end up with both trees near Griff to help him out. And then 2, it gets you the tree just in the mix there.
So that's we'd be looking at what, like 2 rushes with the tree?
Yeah, but I think Wayne's probably going to take those chances here.
Guess. You play Patty Cake. The other kicker. Alright, so one more blocking.
No root. Pushes.
Cannot get them. He's got bend.
He's got fend is fine, right? If your plan is blitz the ball carrier with the other tree.
Yeah, like you want that spot.
I didn't. I just
actually.
Yeah, because your other tree can come in.
Okay.
Well, I guess he could hit it from the other side too, right? If the tree moved up, he would have a space because he could cut the corner where.
So I think Juan remembered Finn this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a rush to hit the ball carrier.
First half of the season, he was, yeah.
I kind of like that. Play. It's a little. I think you move some halflings and stuff first in case you fail one of these go for it. You're gonna have to snake it. You got 2 re-rolls. We're still in.
This tree's gonna blitz the ball carrier.
Yep. This is what I. He's taking root, so re-roll is gone. He snaked the root. He snaked the root. I cannot believe that.
Yes.
Oh.
He loses the blitz for the turn. This drive is just a straight up debacle.
The game I'm
If you're gonna snake in the middle of there, I think it's better to snake at the start. Obviously,
Yeah,
rooting is not a turnover. It feels bad.
Straight up the offense.
it feels
But-
bad, but yeah.
Rumbelow, I think the bigger fear there to me would be having a turnover where you like fail the pushes, Rumbelow still on the ground, and then you've lost another turn with Rumbelow coming up.
Yeah.
3 for them.
Okay. He's Wayne's had snakes on back-to-back turns. At least Bomber blew up. I think if Bomber were standing here, this could be like a real ugly turn.
Absolutely.
This is also put my guy.
Nothing's going the way this game. He's on. Nice spot.
There's less there. Contend that there's been.
Dude, I really don't.
Everything kind of going.
See, the true test of any Empire playoff game is being able to deal with the commentary coming
Yeah.
from
Oh, yeah.
the audience.
We've got some of the you have to have great mental discipline.
Dodge round 4.
I think part of the reason why our players are so good when it comes to competitive stuff. There's literally nothing an opponent could say to us that we haven't heard in their home base, right?
True.
Rush, dodge, rush, dodge.
Okay.
What's happening there?
I believe it was a halfling dodge.
What was he moving a halfling into base with the rat ogre, or was he?
Possible.
I kind of missed what happened there. Okay, so he was moving a halfling on the other side of the other tree. I think he might have been worried about the rat ogre blitzing the tree there.
So we got a dodge away from the rat ogre.
Okay, this could be a dead halfling.
Prehensile tail.
Tackle, prehensile tail. Better than getting hit by the rat ogre. He's free. He's in the open. The halfling made it open.
Didn't care about it.
I'm sure that we would have sacrificed a halfling there for the successful tree blitz. But
Yeah, if only the rat ogre had randomed armbar there. Alright, so he's sent the halfling back there to help eat up actions. So Wayne's going for a he's willing to sacrifice a halfling hit here to try to keep some of those guys pinned.
Dodge round 4.
Okay, there's another dodge through the rat ogre. He's emboldened. Actually, I think you want to give the rat ogre a hit in the direction of the tree, right?
yeah,
Because you have to follow with frenzy.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, we got some unstunned halflings.
all right. We got
Griff
some
is
more.
unstunned. See if Griff gets stepped on next turn.
Yeah, I mean this is now not currently doesn't have any assists. Right, he's gonna have to throw a block to get that halfling off.
Right.
To get any assists on this foul.
Yeah,
So,
and then you would have to throw the foul before you move your guys, and that's kind of risky as well. Rumblow's kind of staked off half the field there.
right.
So if one opts to go to the side opposite of the trees, like play the opposite side of the field, if he wants to go in that direction, the Rumbelow is free to go over there. Wayne has opted to stop dodging the halfling there.
Keep Tia.
Oh, they won't hear about Night Court.
We've got Juan thinking.
Yeah. So his turn's not immediately obvious.
moving a player over opting to get 3 dice as he throws
All three
block
dice.
with throw.
All right, triple
Okay.
spells, let's see it.
Is
This
the
is-
blitz?
Close.
2 skulls and a push on the 3-die block there. It's enough to get free, but it's not enough to get somewhere.
And following. Interesting.
Okay.
I think your objective here is to get away from Rumbelow
Yeah.
by any means necessary. So,
I never tried it that often.
Mm-hmm.
all right.
You can. Up and down.
So he gets the block, so he doesn't have to follow. Mighty Blow,
Breaks
break
him
armor.
Mm-hmm.
We have a KO. This is the first player to leave the pitch, which is actually turn 4. The number of armor breaks we've seen is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think as far as just like
Oh, yes,
the
Jay.
state of the game, it looks really, really bad for me. But overall, like just player health wise, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like you don't mind this drive going long. You have the potential to get like a 1-turn score.
Be determined.
You can,
There
as long as you're not having players permanently removed, as long as your key players are not getting taken out of the game, I think you're okay with this drive taking a good amount of time.
Yeah, you're fine going to the mat, right?
Yeah.
You took extra players for a reason.
It's like,
You still have a 1-turn chance, right? The halflings do.
Mhm.
So if Juan stalls and gets to turn 8, then scores, you still have a chance to throw a halfling and score.
Right.
And then
This will be the blitz.
Mm-hmm.
1,
so
2,
this is a blitz.
3, or hit on 5. Okay.
going after a halfling.
That's a
Well,
stumble
but you-
and a skull.
In front of the tree.
Yes, that's the tackle blitzer. We'll mention the tackle blitzer here.
Not as exciting as the tackle halfling.
No break.
So simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting to me. I think that like going into this game, at least evaluating it, I expected the strength of the Skaven in this matchup to be the ability to stretch the field.
Juan has not done that here.
Yeah, it's very much just compressed, and obviously he still has that safety valve of a gunner runner. Like we've had some players in scoring position. If he felt threatened, he could get out and get there. But I think the longer you stay in this position, something could go wrong. All of a sudden, like you get a untimely push, something happens, you get pushed into a tree. Like even you're close enough, something could happen where someone gets pushed into the rooted tree.
Yeah.
And that tree is able to get back in the game and do something.
Yep.
So that's so much compressed into one area.
Yeah, so I think one of the things in Blood Bowl is when to know when to throw 2 dice uphill, right? You may, if you're Wayne, you might throw 2 die uphill with that halfling into the ball carrier at some point in this game, or like at some point in this turn, just to see if you can get something to happen there.
Right.
You might do all the rest of your stuff first, but you might do that. You might save that
Well, I guess I really didn't need to make a
towards
box.
the end of the turn. 'Cause maybe you get lucky, right? Maybe you get the double
1,
pals.
2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Is this you said it was a foul? Possibly?
Yep.
Go for dice.
Doesn't
5,
break.
6, 7 does not break. Okay.
Nope. Griff is back mobile again for the next turn. We've now had 4 fouls, none of which have resulted in a player being tossed.
And now,
But a bunch of those didn't even result in armor breaks, so
Right.
that makes it much less likely for you to get ejected when you're not breaking armor.
all right, we got a turning of the turns. I think one interesting thing too now is kind of going back to the thing of just the positioning and how the field's been so compressed. Bomber, as he's set up right now, like there's high probability you're hitting one of your own players.
Yeah.
If you try to throw something.
That's always been my game plan against bombers, is to try to get as entangled as you can, as best you can. That way, bombs have collateral damage, right? All right, we got a rooted tree. We've got a Rumbolo.
Well,
Rumbolo's got a free blitz on a gutter runner. I think maybe you take that hit, because you could follow up with a foul from a halfling.
You could even set it up theoretically where you could go.
We're gonna halfling toss.
6.
Okay, we got a target-rich environment for the halfling.
Good. Kill them all.
I think there's actually a lot of ways this could go wrong,
2, 3,
right?
4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
What are the results that result in a turnover?
I could throw him there.
Is there a turnover potential?
I think you have to knock down your own other player, right?
Okay.
Now, if the tree fumbles here and rolls a 1, and the halfling bounces off of like a Rumbolo or whatever, I think that results in a turnover. I'd have to go look that up. I think the halfling that is thrown is placed prone, but if he bounces into any of the players that are standing,
Wreck my turn.
then it's bad.
Right.
I think that results in a turnover.
Turns have been bad enough as it is.
There's like where he throws that halfling actually. Okay, so Rumble is about to 3-die this gutter runner. Now I kind of liked Rumble had enough movement, I think, to blitz from the other corner.
Blitz this gutter runner. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hit on 4. Can't be 3 dice.
I see what you're saying. To be able to get
blitz
to block into the tree.
Yeah, and then you get another 3-die from the tree.
And a mighty blow, like a guaranteed mighty blow hit there.
A pow! I can't believe it.
Okay.
Gutter runner is down. Where's the gutter runner headed? I think you throw the gutter runner back in the scrum, maybe. If your goal is to throw a halfling over there.
Are you still getting?
No armor break. Oh, this is like the first. That's like the first model Wayne's knocked down in like 2 or 3 turns at this point. So.
This text line facing. You stumble.
All right, so Wayne was really close to throwing a teammate there, but he opted not to.
Can't read. That is true. That just needs to keep extended. Can't hurt.
I'm gonna move the tree that can move.
Okay. Got a moving tree.
Oops. What's going on with him? See there? Back the footage up. So where it was.
I think it was a square ahead, wasn't it? I don't remember.
Down. He was in front right here.
Yeah.
So he was down. Stone.
That should be the proper area.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The giant trees.
We have the technology.
Yeah,
but we're not going to use it right now.
Nah.
We're kind of like those nature
These were
documentary
stunned
people.
last time, but they
Like we're not going to intervene in the like cute
Think
little
he was
baby
stunned?
penguin getting eaten. It's just we're gonna have to sit there and watch it happen.
Yeah.
We can't save
That
the
was-
halfling.
That was the old days of the internet. The old days of the internet when people would do that, like when
whole conversation.
Club Penguin and stuff like that, where they would take like the documentary of like a sea lion just absolutely disemboweling a penguin, and then just like post that and on Club Penguin and whatnot.
I would need the dirty player.
That sounds.
You can't do that anymore.
Jealousy to take you.
They don't let you do that anymore.
We don't know how. We lost the technology.
Jeff said he's grip now. I'm the grip.
Yeah. So we're looking at like a situation where the rat ogre is away from the most appetizing bits of Wayne's team.
Wayne's kind of doing that intentionally, and I think Juan is trying to keep the rat ogre away from trees. But now that you've got
Right,
the fast tree is rooted,
Yeah.
right?
This is 3.
Now that the fast tree is rooted, I
Dodge,
think
you're
the
on
rat
4.
ogre's shackles kind of come off.
Yeah. The thing I can see here is, like, there are some like very easy targets for this rat ogre, like on the line. You can surf him some halflings, but like at that point you're getting removed from the play in a way.
7.
But I mean, at this point, I think you're like fine with that, like, because Wayne's now in a position where he's threatening gutter runners.
I think we're about to see a Jeff foul here.
Oh boy!
I think Jeff's fixing to step on a gutter runner.
Well, this is new Jeff, right? So we've got a.
This is dirty player Jeff.
This is. Yeah.
Well, this is dirty player Jeff. We'll see if he's ready to go. See if he brought his stomping shoes.
I believe the player's name in Torplay is New Jeff.
New Jeff?
Yeah, so he's got a lot to live up for.
Crystal Jeff. It is New Jeff. Look at that.
3.
I guess there must have been a Jeff
You're
in
on
the season.
4.
All right, we got a dodge. Okay.
Failed
skill.
dodge, but we've got the dodge skill.
Okay.
All right, so we're free.
Yeah, looks like I think that's still a halfling basing bomber. So
Bomber was stunned, so Bomber is on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So he's not going anywhere at least.
Bomber, yeah. So he can't throw it. He can't do anything this turn, but this is the turn he stands up. So could be enticing to have someone there to like throw a block on him when he gets back up.
Yeah.
Welcome to being back alive. Get back on the ground.
Dodge him to there.
Okay, I think this is going to be a...
Dodge skill.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think that was meant to be an assist. But
That
now
is the
that the
block
dodge
frenzy
skill's been
thin
used, I
guy.
think you stop moving them.
Yeah.
I think you throw your foul with Jeff.
Sure.
Yeah, you can get plus
Oh,
2 on
I'm gonna
this.
foul. They got
You get
2, 3, 4.
yeah. So this is a +2,
Okay,
and you've
+2.
got dirty player in the hole.
Yeah. I mean, if you get it off the pitch, it's a huge trade up.
Yeah.
And one of the big players, obviously, we were talking about it.
This is a very important player to get off the pitch. Okay, so he's moved Jeff a little bit closer.
All right, let's see it. We've got that should
4, 5, 6, 7. Dirty player makes 8.
Okay, dirty player makes
Yeah,
it,
there.
gets it across the threshold.
all right.
So injury roll,
It is, but I'm happy.
an 8.
8.
The gutter runner is KO'd.
It's just a little bit.
Big foul from Jeff there.
Yeah, it's all there.
So just this guy left.
Yep. So let him play the game, Brad.
So as for one, it's like, you know,
Same.
a decent trade off where it's like he gets to keep that for a future drive.
Yeah, it's not. It's. I actually think it hurts Juan's chances of scoring on this drive
Right.
significantly because I think he only put the one
Shit,
gutter
right
runner on the
there.
pitch. I think he
Okay.
left his other gutter runner
You're
safe.
5.
So
All right, we got turn 5.
Nice there.
okay, blocking a halfling. I wouldn't be shocked if we see
Oh, that was a frenzy.
yeah. Frenzy alignment's taking the halfling for a ride. I wouldn't be shocked if we see one use the rat ogre as a pivot point here, and then run to the side, make a breakaway down the stretch there. I think Wayne's kind of doing the matador bit here, right? Like he's trying to like put pressure up but still usher one towards the end zone, right? I think a lot of Blood Bowl is like giving your opponent touchdowns sometimes to see if they'll take them, so that you have enough time to score.
Right.
I think that might be a little bit of that's happening right now. Plus, I think Wayne was just terrified for some of his players.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's like it could be a little bit different. Like you do the calculus a little differently here, since you do have the potential for a 1 turn. Not the highest probability of doing that, but having that, you feel okay. I was like, okay, the best scenario here is Juan does not score, and I'm able to just stall him out in the midfield. He kind of gets stuck. I give him enough rolls that he takes where something goes wrong in the middle. I'm able to capitalize, maybe pop the ball out.
Yeah,
something happens that way. The next best scenario is like he's just kind of stuck. Running for his life around. He's having to like not take all the blocks he wants, minimizing hits.
Oh, it.
Oh.
Bro's good. Okay. So he's going to hit.
All right, so we're getting a
breaks the blitzer.
Okay.
And he's stunned.
All right, so the animal savagery there has backfired. Has knocked down his own guy.
3 dice.
Okay, so what's this halfling?
I'm gonna push you into the crowd.
Okay, he surfed with halfling. I actually feel like maybe Wayne baited him into that. He is KO'd.
So you
at the 2 guys with the baby beyond. Sure is, or whatever.
Rules are just fancy rats. That's what it's true. Glad to be able to hear it.
All right, so Radrick now going down the field, staying away from the trees. Obviously, kind of what we expected here. But now it's so far away from Griff, from Rumbelow, that I think Wayne has to be happy with that. Obviously, seeing a stunned blitzer, Wayne's also got to be good with that too. So.
Could be the best. 1, 2, 3. Pass it to the veteran. Pass is good. Good catches of 2.
All right. What I had to step away for just a second. I'm back in the booth now. The ball is loose. Is that what I saw?
It looks like a handoff.
Handoff.
Of some
sort. The next time you play Skaven, it's battered. I guess you could redraft.
Who's this character that has the ball now?
Looks
is that another gun runner?
It might be another gun runner.
6, 7, 8.
Well, he's moved 9 squares without rolling a push.
Okay,
so
this is the.
Was it just 6 skill gunner?
Griff. I don't think he can get there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Griff could get there. I think he's 13 squares away. Griff is 1 square on the side on the other line of scrimmage, and the gun runner is 2 squares. So I think Griff can base, but I don't think Griff can blitz. Am I correct there? 1, 2, 3 gets you to the tree. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think Griff can blitz. The ball carrier. Now this might be a bit of a. This might be a bit of an error to put the ball down there, because now I think you are in a position where you have to score on the following turn, right?
Right.
Because Griff will come down there.
Yeah, and if Griff is chilling, if Griff sits up on the top wing, he's within range of blitzing you without you being able to actually get, like, the Router will not be able to get to him if he's on the other side of the hatches. So Griff can run across.
You done?
Yep.
All
It's
right.
my 5.
Yep.
Alrighty then.
So we got 2 halflings taken off now. Neither one permanently removed.
Yeah.
I think, this point in the game, we're like about a third of the way through. Like, I feel like you're fairly happy with that.
You might.
For that guy. 2, 3, 4. Right there.
Okay, so Wayne's throwing a halfling down that side of the field.
4. Okay. Who's fast? Inaccurate.
All right, halfling's gonna scatter. It'd be crazy if the halfling just landed on him. I don't think it can now. Okay, but it gets a halfling into the ballpark.
4 to land.
Okay.
So potential 1 die.
Is that a completion? I think that is a completion.
It was a 4 to pass, so don't believe it is.
It was a 4, yeah. No, it needed a 6, right? A 5 or a 6 because of strong arm.
I think it's a 5 or 6. Yeah.
I think 5, but yeah. Okay, so we got some halfling pressure in the area. You could even screen Griff behind the halfling to keep them kind of like away from the rat ogre. With pro, I would even, if I had like a clean shot at Griff with the rat ogre, but it involved like a push, I might even go for the push because of pro.
Yeah.
Wayne's really using every part of the halfling team with that throw down there.
Two, 3.
Yeah, looks like he's kind of going for your strategy here. He's going to like try to screen off Griff, probably somewhere close to the tree, and then he can make sort of a surgical strike down.
Okay, so he's putting Griff in a position where he can go hit the gutter runner, and the gutter runner just can't. It can't just like. Okay, so the gutter runner can't just camp in the corner.
Yeah, that's basically exactly where I envisioned Griff would kind of end up. Like the rat ogre, there's no way the rat ogre can get to him. If any of one's other players want to get there, he has to kind of run around the trees.
7.
It's possible he might, like you could maybe try something with like bomber. You could throw just like a long bomb at Griff, or you could throw a bomb at the tree and the halfling. Try to knock them down, and that would give you like a route. All right, Wayne's moved the rat ogre back. Try to keep it as far away as possible. I would have. That was the halfling that could foul. I would have been tempted to hit another player with Rumbelow and then go foul the halfling.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Rumbelow is going to go blitz. I mean, blitzing the thrower is pretty good, right?
Dodge still.
Okay. Turnover on the failed dodge.
The turn ends prematurely.
We got 3 turns like that for Wayne. 1 for 1.
Say 1 and 9. It's more like 2.
power-ups are much easier.
Yeah, rolls have not been the best for.
Yeah, Wayne's had
When
some
it's
pretty bad dice.
The rest is
He's had some pretty bad dice.
why.
I think if your turn had to end, like obviously you would much rather have had the blitz, but it's not the catastrophic ending here.
Yeah. I still think I may have gone for whatever I was going to blitz there.
Yeah.
I still like the Rumbelow blitz somebody, foul him with New Jeff. One only has 13 players, and Bomber might be out of the game after this drive. So if you get a couple more lucky peels, then you can get one under 10.
It didn't end on a tarp.
Maybe good is overstating it.
There's
Certainly
yeah, definitely merits that. I think like maybe there's a chance that Wayne's saving a New Jeff
But
for
I'm saying I've had one
priority
decent-
targets.
Yeah.
Where
The Rat Ogre.
he wants that dirty player to save for the Rat Ogre or a Gutter Runner.
I think Rumbelow could have gotten to the thrower, right?
Yeah. Probably. Thrower, so he would have been 1, 2, 3,
So when he's the
Tree. There was block.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Biggest
tying
issue
up-
here is he's leaving. I don't know if he's leaving Rumble open for blitz here or if he's.
He's trying to tie up Rumbelow. That's the good thing about the thing about playing against Rumbelow is if you just give him somebody to block, then it turns off half his skills. Turns off the horns, turns it off the juggernaut. Still has got block, still got tackle, but if your guy doesn't have dodge, then what do you care, right? So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're just setting yourself up in a position where if Wayne wanted that, he's going to have to. He's not going to use his blitz there. Like he's not going to blitz
More
that
than
player
likely.
off. He I wouldn't say telegraphed the blitz because I think it is just like the best play you can make here is having Griff in a position to blitz the ball carrier. But
yeah, it's the thing is it's you move Griff into range because you say if you don't do something about this, I'm going to use this, right? I mean, if Juan scores here and Wayne's got 3 turns to score, I think Wayne could. Now that Bomber's off the field, I think Bomber's best use in this matchup would have been defense.
yeah,
I really want to throw.
He used him. Juan used him as a second blitz to try to get a hit on Griff, and he did, but it didn't pan out.
Yeah.
So in retrospect, that's going to look pretty bad. It's going to feel pretty bad. Bomber leaves the game, and then Griff is still in
Bomber
it,
did blow himself up.
and Wayne scores here. One, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Juan's like
Be a shame if
the
he fixed
value
those two
above
guys.
replacement
Exactly.
of Bomber there is like not super high. Like
Yeah,
obviously,
It's only one and six.
first turn of the game, it looked like it was just going to be a route,
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
now
it
we're
gives
stuck in
close.
this position
Yeah.
where
yeah,
we're looking like, okay, well, what has Bomber really done? He cleared the way
Yeah,
on that
sure.
first turn, then he blew himself
I
up.
had one.
He's been out of commission,
5. Was not the most recent.
so
and also good with a stretch.
Nah, I don't risk it. The Rat Ogre's going to. He does.
okay, Red Ogre does not kill his own player this time.
yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Sidestep on the Halfling would be insane here
Yes.
because he'd sidestep and text the tree.
Onto the 7. Follow. Breaks.
Is he supposed to be facing this way?
That breaks. 20 blow.
It breaks. 7, 8.
Yeah, it's another KO. That's fine. That's fine.
So that was 1, 2, 3.
So you can put the Rat Ogre in a place to be Inconvenient Griff. Okay, bringing the Rat Ogre back. How much stalling do you think you can do here if you're Juan?
I think he wants at least one more turn.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he. I
You
don't
could
know.
just run the Gutter Runner back, right? There's no reason to
Yeah.
keep him over there.
This is probably
Bring
going
him back
along
to
with
like
this
the
tree.
Rat Ogre.
Yeah.
God, sweet insane. Oh, I didn't see Bomber.
I think
It's
scary
always
thing
the part
there
that you
could
don't
be
see.
if he
Yeah,
runs
right.
it back, he's in
Well, you brought this
threat
beside that.
range of a halfling being thrown onto it.
Like here.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
So that's pretty big, being able to block off that halfling getting around. Cause
Yeah, that's with the tackle too.
Well, you move the settlers from the side.
Got it. This corner. Here.
Right.
There.
Because you can't reach them.
All right, so this gutter runner has a sidestep, so he can be there.
Act like he's got sides.
Yeah, this gutter runner's got sidestep, so
Right.
this is one of the one turn scorers.
yeah. Well, the one turn scorer, right? I think
Oh
he's
yeah,
only
the
got
other
one.
one has been retired.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a bomb.
Get out of here.
Okay.
Okay, we got another bomb. Accurate.
I guess Jeff's gonna try to
There you
intercept.
go. Bring it in.
So he
Failed.
needed a 6.
I'm gonna see if Jeff goes down. Nope. Does the tree go down?
Okay.
Yes.
Tree on the ground from the bomb.
The tree.
I think that's 9. It's creeping up on.
Dang near, man.
It's creeping up on it. Tree escapes unharmed.
So the tiny trees.
Yep.
Okay.
You'll get caught one of these times.
It's a foul on the tree.
Oh,
okay.
Did get caught. Did get caught. No break.
Now I'm kicked out.
Oh, and
Yeah,
then
somebody-
Juan's coach is
both
kicked
of you.
out. Okay, so that's actually big. Because he can't argue the call anymore, right? That's the way it works? I believe so. So
He's on
Bomber, I think, is out of here.
Also, I believe that's a minus to your brilliant coaching roll.
It is a minus to your brilliant coaching roll, which actually matters against halflings.
Right. Yeah.
And that was a turnover as well.
You're 6.
All right. Turn 6.
4, 2, 3, 6, 7.
Looks like he can base,
Nothing
good
bad would
runner.
happen.
but cannot.
He's got
Nothing bad.
blocks. It's fine.
It's completely fine.
That was a greedy foul, by the way.
Yeah, I fully agree.
That was a very greedy foul.
Especially when you're playing a numbers game here.
Nothing
Like,
is ever
yeah, you've taken
bad
people
happening in
out
local.
of this drive, not permanently, and you're lower on players.
That was a greedy foul.
+2 on a tree. What are the odds of breaking on that?
You're like less than 20%, right? You need it was only a +2 on the tree.
Yes, you need 9.
So yes, you need a 9, 28%, I think. So yeah, I mean a 1 in 4 to break the tree, and then you need another 1 in 4 to actually get the tree out of the game. So you're talking a 6% chance to get the tree out of the game, whereas your probability of getting kicked out is 1 in 6 or worse.
Right.
If you do break armor, you're more likely to be kicked out. So that was a greedy foul.
Yep.
Is what I'm saying.
Year 3, 4.
It's a little loose.
It's all right.
People in both the square.
Huh?
I'm supposed to. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That seems right.
Now I don't know. So Wayne's. Both trees are out of commission. Rumblow's tied up. Okay. Now here's a crazy play.
Mhm.
Is there any way to get 2 dice on the rat ogre?
Well.
Because I think if you do, and you knock the rat ogre, I think you can foul it with Jeff. Jeff's in range to foul it.
Mhm.
Is there a way to get 2 dice on it?
You have one reroll, right? I think he has one reroll remaining.
Yeah, which I think you saved that reroll. Regardless,
Yeah.
I don't think you reroll. I think you rerolled nothing from this point forward.
Right.
Because you need that reroll to help your one-turn odds.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And you've got Griffs once per game, which I don't know if he used yet or not, but there was like a little bit of confusion with that earlier.
That's good.
I don't think he gets the. I don't think he can get.
I think he's missing the assist, right? I think
Yeah,
I think you would have to
one.
use Jeff as one of the assists.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so
I'll
he's
throw this block.
going for a block.
Well, that one's cocked. Okay.
All right, nothing happened there.
3.
The
1,
alignment has block, frenzy, and fend.
2,
Yes,
3, 4.
yeah. He's actually kind of a good piece. It's not kind of. He is a good piece.
Yep.
Surprisingly large amount of fend in this game. Not the maximum amount of fend if we had kept the hefties, but
Yeah. I think there is a world where Wayne might be trying to, bait that rat ogre
back
back.
could be.
And it's just like, I'm not gonna stop this score, but I think he would trade a touchdown for that rat ogre out of the game.
I think he would, yeah, for sure. The tree's got a roll to stand up here. Jeff's moves back to help.
All right, this tree's going to blitz.
Okay, we got a
So
blitz.
first is big root.
Not
Now is stand up.
So
3 plus.
to stand up here.
Nope.
Nah, you don't use the reroll here.
So second blitz has been burned.
By the trees, yeah.
It's half.
Yes, he did.
If I played against these trees in my game, I think I win my game handily.
I think there's a world almost where I like the idea of retreating Griff away from the rat ogre, but I almost think I would have liked, if you're not planning on using. Okay, that's a dodge away from the tackle.
Whatever I tried was going.
The fall. So going
And shaking armor.
turn 7.
Not
But I
bad.
think almost like blitzing with Rumbolo.
It breaks 7.
On that player with Fend, since he's got Fend.
We got another KO'd halfling there. The failed dodge translated into a halfling down.
He
So
did.
we got 4 in the KO box.
You were so.
None dead though.
None
So,
dead, so
I
you've
think
got, realistically, theoretically, you're gonna get like 2 of those back after the end of this thing when Juan scores, because it seems like he's gonna score unless something catastrophic happens on his end.
yeah, he has to. He could get really greedy, right? Like he could get like blitzing trees greedy with the rat ogre.
Right. Looks like he's gonna go for.
He's going for hits on a Rumbolo.
Yeah. So I think I would have liked the Rumbolo blitz there, because you wouldn't have had to bring Griff back specifically to block.
Yeah.
And then you get the Juggernaut, so you can push him off with a block and then get him free.
Yep.
Then you have like 2 threats. You can
Yeah.
get Rumbolo in an area where the Rat Ogre can't get to him, and then you set yourself up possibly next turn
Yeah, I mean,
to blitz
I think
the Rat Ogre with Rumbolo.
I think like a really strong position for Wayne to have been in was one where he's got the fouling piece, Rumbolo, and Griff towards where the ball carrier is.
Right.
Right now, Juan just gets to kind of like turtle up, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, unless something insane happens here, the stalling gets to happen. So.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, this probably also is okay for Wayne, just in the sense of, like, one has to be a little bit conservative here, and then his next turn, he's probably not doing anything. Like,
Yeah.
like
right.
he's just gonna run it in.
You're running out of stuff to hit, right? Rumbolo armor break. Rumbelows stunned
Yeah, it's for good
for the second time this half.
It worked.
We've had stunned Rumbelows and stunned Griffs.
So he wants to run the foul.
The foul is so greedy here.
Yeah, when he was talking about it. I tried it. It didn't really help.
The foul is like insanely greedy here.
It needs some short size.
Yeah. We do. I actually mentioned that too.
Yeah.
Although so far we haven't missed. Wait, they think we're gonna chase along.
I heard names mentioned.
Yeah.
Again, would have taken 45 less minutes.
We were, I think he was discussing the
It's not supposed to be
ball, or sorry, the dice
dexterity.
tower. He and I missed the dice tower a bunch of times. Wayne and I did when we were playing on stream. I would like go to throw the die, and I would just like whiff on the dice tower.
Yeah.
Because it's got like a narrow thing, and then there was like some of the streaming rig was in the way.
Well, if you want to improve the dice tower for the next season, we are accepting crowdfunding for a large, oversized trouble bubble popper.
Okay, so he's fouling with Bomber here.
Gotcha. Made it.
Okay.
Bomber foul is not the greedy one.
That's
right?
not greedy. No,
That's
this
fine.
is
Freaks.
6, 7,
8.
will
8 will break.
Okay.
9 is
Is
a
he stunted?
KO.
No, he's not.
Right. He's not stunty.
He's not.
They rolled a 9.
Imagine if he was. That would actually.
It would be brutal. It would be brutal.
It'd be brutal in this scenario.
Yeah.
But 3 strength horn stunty piece would be. I mean, I'd be loving
Yeah,
that.
it'd be crazy.
So.
It'd be crazy. He'd be so good at cage diving.
Okay.
Rumble KO is pretty bad. Does that put Wayne at 5 KOs?
Yes.
So he can field a full team
She's a
currently.
good backup ball carrier.
He's actually running out of pieces that aren't like, because most of that were halflings that have been KO'd, right? So you do, the good thing is you do get 2 rolls at it, right? Because presumably Juan
2,
scores.
3, 4.
You get rolls, then you get your 1 turn attempt. You get rolls then, right? Juan's still sitting on 2 rerolls.
2, 3.
Which I think, that's fine. If Juan doesn't, I mean, the 2 rerolls are going to enable Juan to possibly take a block here.
1,
feel
2,
like
3,
sound
4,
secure.
5, 6, 7.
His run Griff to the other side of the
Run
field.
away, Griff. Go. This tree is going to go.
He is again.
All right. Take root.
The tree is not rooted.
Stand up.
Needs 2 to stand up. He's good.
Let's push.
And then 2 more 2s. 2 more 2 pluses.
Rush.
All right.
Makes a rush to there.
I think this is just like pipe dream stuff. Okay.
Rush to hit.
Okay.
Yes.
See if the tree gets some damage in.
He does not have dodge.
Does not.
Defender Stumble's going to take that guy down. The tree's going to get in some business over here.
That's why he was getting all those completions earlier.
Okay.
Wow.
No armor break.
Very close.
No armor break. I'd be tempted to stomp on him. You still have such a player advantage.
Timmy's stuck in the wall.
What is it, boy?
That's right.
Getting rid of a
Toast.
that's a blitzer, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it's one of the blitzers.
So I mean, taking one of these blitzers off the field, that's pretty good. I think Wayne is out of pieces downfield to threaten.
Yeah. And like,
No, the bomber's next to bomber's over there.
It's 1. Seems not worth it.
When did that tree root? Was it turn 3?
I believe.
Yeah, it was turn 4. It was the start of
four,
turn
yeah.
4 it rooted. Yeah.
That's it. Your turn.
All right, turn 8 for Juan. Is he gonna attempt anything? It's so doing anything with bomber here is greedy.
Yeah.
Not really gonna do any kind of dumb things. If I'm yeah, I'll score.
Okay.
All right, Juan has opted to score.
Take the point.
Yeah.
All right.
Should read out the trivia.
Okay. We get a bunch of KO rolls for Wayne here.
Yep.
And ultimately, the result of these KOs rolls doesn't matter a ton.
The most consequential one you're looking at is Rumbelow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
It's nice that you'll have 2 shots at it, like right back to back. But getting Rumbelow back on the first one.
So all right. So 2 halfling.
the KO did not come back.
There's one halfling. One halfling did not come back. One die disappeared. Thank you. 2 halflings. One has made lots of attacks on his return. So 2 more. One more. So roll on. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That one. These models. It's likely. And then Rumbelow.
Rumbelow roll.
Nope.
Rumblow's not back.
Rumblow's not back.
It looks like 3 of those halflings just.
You do get another shot at it at halftime. Rumbelow doesn't really help you with the 1 turn.
Right.
You would want Rumbelow to try to get a gutter runner blitz in somewhere in here.
Yeah.
And so I think the big gutter runner did not come back, right?
Yeah, it looks like that one's still KO'd. So.
Okay. I think that's the Russell strip ball gutter runner.
We only need 2.
The Russell strip ball gutter runner did not come back. Now, Juan's got kick. I think that's probably the white ring here. Is kick.
I'm oddly telling you about good at.
Get membership.
Definitely went and found again so I could show what happened.
So Juan's got some linemen.
But 2. Oh yeah. But, you know, I could just face those 2 guys.
Okay, so once got 2 tackle pieces. With the Blitzer and the Rat Ogre.
Force him to throw it a
But your main goal here is just to stay away from the prehensile tail.
Yeah.
Sure, but yeah,
So, if the white ring is kicked, then Juan has set up incorrectly.
You have to just find it. Big one's harder than that.
Could have just gone southern.
Yeah.
Or just like that.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, it's like this is close to.
Alright, so I think
Yeah.
if the white ring is kicked, then Wayne's going to wait until Juan tries to kick it, and then point out that the guy's not in the hashes. I think that's a likely scenario here.
Yeah. Which is legal Blood Bowl.
That's legal Blood Bowl play. This is the finals.
Yeah.
As I've stated, I don't particularly care who wins the game. I want both people to feel miserable at the end of it.
That's not distracting at all.
That is surely the most misery-inducing thing is getting called out on a
What
procedural error.
What do you see?
Okay.
Setting up the kick screen. Could end up with like a timeout. I think a timeout would be pretty good for Wayne.
Yeah, that gives you a chance to like take.
I can't use kick, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's swapping. He noticed his kick.
Figured it out.
Maybe he's listening to the commentary.
Oh, we better talk much more quietly then.
Yeah. I hope they heard it. I hope they heard me when I said that I want them to feel misery and then lose the game.
Nathan is wishing him at the other. He doesn't care who wins.
Will's stealing my jokes and saying them louder.
Good.
We're going to have to cut off
Best out.
I immediately regretted
participation next time.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen.
Yeah, so sure, Nathan wins biggest Asher. So how? So like,
I don't know. I feel like we're kicking on.
Yeah. Hey. We'll be fine.
Okay, so they've
But you can forward it. I don't want to.
So,
They moved it back. They moved it back. Okay.
Okay. So we're sticking it to him.
Now,
So Jeff has been sitting on. I think it's so.
Oh, we got
All right,
Jeff
so-
new Jeff on the wing. Let's go.
yeah, he didn't want to throw new Jeff in case he exploded, which is correct. You don't want to.
Okay.
who did
2,
the 7?
7.
Makes it very easy.
Kick off. Quick snap.
Okay.
Quick snap
Also, Nathan,
helps.
I'm not stealing your jokes. I'm sharing the credit.
But it's all guys.
D3 plus.
D3 plus.
Guys.
So you get to move Griff up. The
What are
trees
they?
are based.
I think I gave it.
Well, I can't move those.
When I was,
You move new Jeff up for a foul.
yeah,
I think you take the foul depending on what you blitz, right?
So it's a 2+ pickup into a 3+ handoff.
4.
Into a 2+ a 2+ throw for it to not be a fumble. Into a landing and then some dodges, most likely, depending on the scattering, right? So, still a lot of dice rolls, lots of dice rolls before we
Just
get
these
there.
two are
But we'll see.
tackle, right?
Yep.
2, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Kind of have to throw it over there.
Yeah, that's your best. You
It
can't
doesn't
throw
matter
it
which
anywhere
way.
near the side that has the rat ogre on it.
Correct. You got to throw the opposite way for sure.
And that's the one turn. So I guess I'm gonna take this tree block.
Yeah, I think you do throw the hit for sure.
Tree miraculously did not root.
That's
That
cocked.
pal.
There's a
Yeah, there's a pal in there, so
No problem.
I mean, peeling a Skaven here would be huge.
that's a break.
Non-breaks.
Yep.
Stunned.
Just a stun there, but
Wayne probably feels good about having an armor break at that point.
yeah. Mainly, you just need to get players off of the tree you're throwing with, right?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2.
Okay, well, guess I'll do a handoff.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Pick it up. Rush to there.
Go for it.
All right. So you got okay.
Rush to here.
Okay.
Hand it off to that halfling. Needs a 3.
Okay, balls in the halfling hands.
Very good.
Alright, those are all the safe rolls. Now,
And then
Medlib
the
can actually
tree
cheat
will-
up a square, right? Because he can walk over in front of Elmleaf.
Yes.
So he's gonna get to walk.
Stuff there. And throw it. 2, 3, 6.
You don't want to
2,
throw it behind the
3.
red ogre.
So that would be targeting that guy, who is the kicker. 2, 3, 4, 6. I think that's my best target. So I'm targeting the kicker.
Okay, it's throwing directly at the kicker.
Okay. I guess if it
You-
if
you-
it fails here,
So
if he
on
lands
the
on
kicker.
that player, I guess
You're like
So
a
here's the
5%
pass.
to land on the kicker.
right.
You're 50% to land in any of the squares near the kicker.
Must have 2.
So from the
Seems
kicker,
so good.
scatter 3 times.
Scattering 3 times from the kicker.
1, it's the wrong way, dude.
1 is not the right way, but it's away from the red ogre.
3, yep, that can't score now. 6. So there.
He needs a 5 to land.
1, 2, 3. I guess I can still possibly score.
So he needs a 5 to
I
land.
need a 6 to land. Correct?
6 to land.
Yeah, for 2 tackle zones.
Show me that 6.
Oh.
You got the reroll.
Yep,
Use the
alright,
reroll.
well, I'll use my reroll.
Yep.
It's 1. Still 5. Okay, so he goes down there.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah.
That was
Did I
close.
do that right?
If you know your next 2 dice rolls are 5s, so you're in.
Breaks.
Okay, see if the halfling explodes.
He's still.
Halfling's just
It is
stuck. Alright, so we're headed to halftime here. I think we're going to take a quick little break in the booth.
I'm all going
And I'm sure the players are going to want to take a break too, because they've been at it for about 2 hours for this first half here. This classic playoff Blood Bowl here at Empire Games, where looks like 2 more halflings are back. Let's see if Rumble comes back. Rumble is back.
Okay.
None of the KOs mattered. All right, but we will be right back.
Yep.
Well, to both of you.
Thanks, Saki.
Head down. Have a good night. Yeah. Have a good night.
That was so close.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the picket fencing.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
You're picking me, right?
Yep. They're good to.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. A lot of really bad rolls.
No shit. So, yeah. I guess lucky to still have grip.
Yeah. Both our players, you know.
Yeah.
And both trees. Let's go.
And there's only part of it.
I thought it was a good half.
Imagine that. Hey, Rumble came back.
Yeah, everybody came back.
Nice.
Drop a player too,
Which is nice. The go runner needs to come back. So there's only
really.
Well, on his team, the gutter.
I don't know, I feel like we get him down to 2 players.
I may have learned that lesson, but even the chain push is hard. I mean, yeah, if Saskar on turn 8 and
He's down like players.
yeah, but if he's got his full team, I guess I should go make a pit stop.
No, you can, because he has to put the gutter runner on. Right, for the quick snap.
All right, a lot of these players are still getting set up for this second half. I want to take a quick second to plug some of the other stuff. If you've been listening to us talk for the last 2 hours, and if you've enjoyed it so far, we really appreciate you sticking around. But also, we do have a weekly podcast we put out for this Blood Bowl League, as well as just we talk general Blood Bowl topics in general. It's called The Right Stuff. You can find it on our channel and any other place that you can find the podcast. So if you want to tune in there, that would be an excellent place to listen to some more insight. After this is over, I'm sure we'll do some sort of winner interview. So we're going to be wrapping up this season of the podcast, but we're jumping right back in. We got our next season starting up. So if you're local to us as well, we got slots in the league. It's going to be a super fun time. We're doing a slightly different style. We'll have a redraft for players who have a team they want to bring back. But in addition to that, we have a format set up where if a player wants to play a new team, they can bring over some number of skills, so they're not starting with a completely fresh team. And that's a way to sort of even the playing field and give people a chance to entice stuff over.
Yes, that's not till. Oh, he going to till. Wings are made of tilting. Salt is very
Also, just another thing coming up, we do have our Palmetto Cup at the end of June 28th. It's a squad tournament, so you're playing with you and one lucky teammate. Super fun tournament. Had a blast last year. You won last year, right?
That's correct. Me and Jim Knox took it home last year. I was playing Amazons or Dribble and Drool, which you can't do this time because John Jennings decided to megastar Dribble and Drool for this event.
This has been a traditional finals.
And Jim was playing some Shambling Undead, and yeah, we barely squeaked out Isaac from down the road in the Goblin League in Georgia. They were also undefeated, and since the tournament was only 3 rounds, we didn't actually have a chance to play against each other, and so we won a tie breaks.
Wow, Wayne got all of his. See, that's what I was.
Yeah, I haven't actually talked to Jim about pairing up this year. I kind of need to. Kind of want to. I've been playing not Amazons this year in tournament stuff. So played some vampires down in New Orleans. If you followed along, we talked about that. Not New Orleans. Vampires up in Dollywood.
Yeah. It's like the odds of the tree.
Fun time.
I might try corn. I got a list I like.
Oh, okay.
Finally found one. I did some play testing with a list. And played against Sean Adams' Ogre with Griff list and got schooled. Got badly beaten, but I found a list that I don't necessarily think beats that list, but actually has game against it that I didn't have the first time around, which I think helps out a lot.
Yeah, that feels like Ogres and Griff seems like it'd be a terrifying list to go into, just in terms of like you're wanting to push people around, and the players you most need to worry about are not players you can push around.
Right. No one died. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of in a mode where I want to do a lot of damage to teams that keep taking a bunch of strength 5 guys against me. I've been considering a Corn Bloodspawn Scylla list because I was just so tired of playing against 5 strength dudes.
It's been a while since I've seen him play.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember the first talks of this list, and it sounds quite hilarious.
Now, I haven't gone that route. I don't actually think that list would be good, for the record. But I'm certainly tempted. If I keep playing against Tomb Kings and Ogres at the rate that I do, I'll eventually cave and play that list.
You could do the Nurgle, Rotter plus Morg and Borak.
Have to get there.
If you want.
Not that you need to.
Yeah, that really folds.
Yeah, I have no idea I don't know who I'm playing with for Palmetto Cup or what I'm going to play. I'm just kind of acting as a tourist around all the different teams right now. Done practice games with gnomes, done practice games with orcs. Felt pretty good about Amazons and Dollywood, but I'm going to try out some other things soon. Try some Dark Elves.
Yeah, I think Amazon lists without Dribble and Drool obviously still probably very good. It's just Dribble and Drool are just insane on the team, right? And if push came to shove, I would play Amazons without Dribble and Drool. I'd figure out something I like and go from there. So.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you could just get extra players, and you can maybe afford to just foul one.
That's another reason why.
Clear up a little extra space. I do find myself really liking having. I can see a world where that works, where just having those extra rerolls is nice. Or taking adding a couple players to replace Dribble and Drool, and you still can afford a reroll.
I think the major problem. Now, I liked I had a list that was Grombrindel on Amazons.
Okay.
And you get Mighty Blow. And Grombrindel is also a pretty sturdy piece. And so you can play a positional game. And Grombrindel is actually so insane on Amazons because he can give break tackle.
Right.
And so you can go for kind of risky dodges with break tackle. And if you need to make multiple dodges in a row, and you roll your first dodge, and your dodge is a 5, and it succeeds, you don't have to use break tackle, then guess what? You can save the break tackle for a later dodge.
That's right.
Okay, now we got...
It's like your middle dice.
Things go all right.
Last ditch effort.
All right. We're back with some defensive setup by one. Is he putting his kick on the flank again? Is he doing it again?
Although we don't have.
He's a maniac. Maniac.
One day. I mean,
It's happening again.
Sometimes kick is. Look, every ability, every rule in Blood Bowl has secret text hidden underneath.
Yeah.
And in this instance, the secret role of kick in this game is give the halflings 20k in inducements for no additional benefits.
Yeah, I think he random kick.
Interesting.
So
Let's finish setting up.
Give him 10k.
No, I was
Just giving him extra money at this point.
did the other?
Does it not only have one eye?
Oh,
Looks like that gutter runner's still knocked
The
out.
interesting trophy.
That's incredible, actually, for Wayne
I think
here.
so.
I think
That's one of the original medal. Although they reissued
1,
them.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Very
I've actually got
The
another
kick
one.
out. Okay, so
okay.
I forget which one it is.
Bomber gone.
All right.
The dude kicked out, and
So
the
you
gun
good?
runner. So Juan is playing defense with 10 here. And I believe all of the KOs came back for
What's
Wayne.
your rather?
Yeah, I believe all of them are back now between the turn 8 touchdown and the half turning over.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have done that.
So I think they're all back in action now.
Got the bottom of it.
So if you're Wayne, I think you try to take this a whole half.
It's not like-
And I think you are having a halfling stomp on a rat literally every single turn.
Take an 8 1.
You are
Tell them,
get
man,
your
bring
tree
this over here
hits,
and just start having fun.
get your tree hits, get your rumble of blitz,
Beating them MVP.
and then
probably just
halfling
take it
stomps.
Random.
And you just take your whole bench and fire it into Juan's dudes fouling style,
Wait, he becomes boss.
and try to see how many of them you can
With the-
take off the
with the
pitch.
chicken
As long as you
you
don't
can give
put
him
yourself
pass.
in danger
I can't read.
to cough up the ball, but your goal is to get everything off the pitch.
You know, my version will have.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
you just want to be scalping people, kind of like what Jim did in his game,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then not
So,
flub the last.
Yeah,
turn.
exactly.
But-
Don't flub the last turn.
Holding at 1100.
Okay, so Wayne has started setting up on offense, so that kick player is going to be staying there.
So it's not about playing 50. God.
It's actually,
That's a lot of
I
goblins.
think it would be karmic
I was
justice
watching the
for
the
Juan
practice game. He was
to
doing.
miss the
And on the
kick,
first turn, he burns
roll
both his
blitz, and
rerolls,
then not recover
and
the
then
ball
fouls with Lord,
because the ball
right, and
ended up
gets set
someplace
and
on like a
hasn't used
touchback or
his
something
reroll
like that,
yet,
right?
so he could.
That would be karmic justice.
Right.
He's like, he made a good.
Okay. Jeff's getting up there. Jeff is ready
Oh
to
yeah,
foul.
yeah,
Whatever
we're
player-
fouling.
Sorry,
Oh.
New Jeff. New Jeff is ready to
Oh,
foul.
we're
Whoever
fouling
shows
with
up.
New Jeff. That's for sure happening.
As soon as possible.
All right, so Juan's trying to keep the Radiger as far away
Keep
from
off
the
y'all.
trees as he can.
This is terrible, and then of course he.
I think the scary thing about, like, obviously, we talked about it.
KOs a black
Juan's
with
team
his first
developed
snap.
really well as far as
I think I'm
game
good with this.
skills.
Yes. So
The scary thing here now is
you're learning all the wrong way.
if this
That
Radiger
is the story.
rolls savagery, he's possibly peeling skills off
Yeah.
that you really need.
2 to the side.
Two.
Okay.
Alright. Let me roll with chef.
Really
Chef.
chef roll. Let's see. Got two.
Nice.
Could go 3. Oh my
Nice.
god, this is insane.
Okay, 4 rerolls for
To the
halfling
leader
stack.
reroll. To just the leader reroll.
So that makes that thrower a prime target
Okay.
now. Which I think the thrower is back with the Rat Ogre.
Yeah.
4 players.
So this was another quick snap. Is that right?
Looks like it, yeah. We've got Griff moving, so it's got to be a quick snap.
Yep. That ooh, okay. So if we're
That's
doing
what
the
I was
ESPN
interested in.
statistical analysis tracker, right? The
Mhm.
win percentage
You
tracker,
know,
you see that
respect
3
them.
rerolls from the chef. What do you think that does to the chances for the game? I think that is. I don't want to say it's like we call it right there,
Mhm.
but I think there's a world. I think there's a world where that decides the game.
I think that is like a 40 percentage point swing.
Yeah.
Easily.
Alright then.
Yeah,
At least.
like that one has so much less of a margin for error here.
And he's in now. He's even worse of a spot because I think now you have
So
to,
let's
if
punch
you
this
want
rat.
to activate that Rat Ogre, you need to bring someone back to put next to it because you don't want him hitting the thrower. If that thrower gets hit with animal
Oh, yeah.
savagery and he's out, you lose that. You are at 0 rerolls.
Block him down.
Okay, we got a block down on the first hit.
Okay.
And you also don't want to hit the gutter runner. Like the
Oh,
gutter
yeah.
runner is going to be like tissue paper back there. Okay.
No armor break. That's a stomping.
So I'll hit this one.
I can see a Jersey Mike's bag from a mile away. I had Jersey Mike's for lunch.
Also block him down.
Another block, yeah. Now, this is really funny because before this game, Wayne was talking about firing these trees, and I told him that the block skill gives him like an extra 17% chance to break armor.
Okay.
And both of those hits right there, he had to use the block to put him down on the field. So, yeah.
Okay, that is a Skaven off the pitch. We're now 11-9.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
We should have a little like person counter.
We do, yeah. The power play tracker for hockey.
Yeah.
All right. Now this is Skaven. You can't play undisciplined, right?
Right.
You can't just ignore this ball. You can't just leave like a tackle zone of the ball, right? You still, as much as you might want,
Well,
as much as you might want to go do other stuff, I still think you need to like bring 2 halflings back to the ball, to cinch it up a little bit.
that's the kicker. Does he have anything else?
Nope. Random done to kicker.
I think if he set up Rumbelow to go blitz, if I were him, I would blitz the blitzer with Rumbelow.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, exactly like this.
Okay.
Yep. Possibly knock him over the side. Get that blitzer out of the play.
Okay. Nothing.
You can push it.
You can Juggernaut.
Yeah, I think you want to Juggernaut.
I think you Juggernaut for sure. You don't want the hit back.
Something you don't necessarily think about, I think, is that text of Juggernaut. Like I think a lot of people when they see Juggernaut, they're like, I don't have to worry about stand firm. I don't have to worry about fend. I don't have to worry about wrestle. But
the push, like even Juggernaut used to not even ignore skills. Like in a previous version of the game, Juggernaut was literally just when you blitz, you can treat it both down as a push. And it was really good. And then they added all the stuff that you get to ignore on it.
We're gonna half them box. Oh,
There's the power.
there's a splash. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I guess you are freed up with having gotten 3 extra rerolls. So that's conquer.
Oh, that'll
So
break.
8 breaks. Yep. You stunned.
Oh, so close to Halfling Justice being in this.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, screening off Rumbelow.
3.
All right, he's playing a territory game here. He's trying to cut off avenues for the Skaven to get behind enemy lines.
You have to feel really good about how this turn's going so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, after getting slapped around and rolling snake eyes a couple times, and
Okay, let's do this. 1, 2, 3.
That's the thing about Blood Bowl.
Okay, we're picking up the ball.
You got to stay in it. All right, and it's just enough.
4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, Griff hiding behind the trees. This is the prototypical Wayne Halfling Justice MO.
1, 2, 3. Okay. So that Halfling is out of range of the Rat Ogre being able to hit him. New Jeff is out of range without having to push. So.
Oh, it's also screened off. So
yeah.
He's put those. He's positioned those halflings as a like center field screen to limit where those Skaven can go. I think this other halfling should just...
We'll foul this guy.
Okay,
Foul.
grand foul.
All right, you get a new Jeff foul.
Plus you.
So 6, 7.
Okay, assist will break it.
Yep.
Ooh, he's caught.
7.
He stunned it.
I'll argue the call.
Arguing the call. Okay, so the turn was going great up until that.
Yeah.
So, Jeff. Yeah, try for him.
Stunning a Skaven is not worth it there. If you'd pulled the Skaven off the pitch, then that would have been pretty good. So we got 10 on 9 now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who's still players?
I think of the players that are like available to try to go back there and potentially. Obviously, it's 1 in 6 that you fail your Savager here if you're blitzing with that Rat Ogre.
You can just move your players before you blitz with the Rat Ogre.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would do. I think I would rather have him no tackle zones than take hits on my own guys.
Yeah.
I think that would be the way to play it, in my opinion. I'd probably sick the Rat Ogre on the halfling that's next to Rumbelow. I like move the thrower. I'll probably form like a loose-ish screen. Leave my gutter runner definitely pinned back. But I try to peel a halfling and then stick a dude on Rumbelow.
Did you do a thing? Not do a thing.
You want to keep the Rat Ogre. You want to keep the Rat Ogre screened off from the trees. You don't want the trees getting tangled up with the Rat Ogre.
Right.
That's a disadvantage for the Rat Ogre. So.
A lot of pondering going on. Obviously, you're playing with 25% of the rerolls that you expected to have going into this turn.
For sure.
So,
Sure, in hindsight, it wasn't worth it.
He's throwing a hit on Rumbelow. I would have juggernauted. I would not have wanted this hit back.
right. Fully agree with you there. I think it puts in a spot where that blitzer could theoretically go and try to kill a halfling.
Well,
but
when I go for it,
he could even if he throws the hit, he can even push Rumbelow off to the side where the Rat Ogre can blitz Rumbelow. Right.
42.
Okay. Yeah, this is not what you wanted here.
Right here.
Because I think this is supposed to be
Rumbelow's down. Let's see if Rumbelow can escape.
No one's escaping that. Rumbelow is out.
I'm stupid.
Is it a KO?
big skull is a big skull.
Mighty blow.
Yeah.
KO.
I forgot to convert them both down into a push.
Yep. Wayne catching that now.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a stupid mistake. Wayne said, "I don't want to lose this game to a stupid mistake," and I'm gonna chalk that up as a stupid mistake there.
I mean, you've been playing at this point. It's been 16 games. It's reaching the end of your your time with the team.
Yeah.
Definitely prone to things popping up.
Walk him down, I guess. Yeah.
Put down skull. Going here. Okay.
It's the frenzy guy.
It's fine.
Would have loved to have seen the 4 on Rumbelow instead of that halfling. But, okay. So that was your blitz.
Okay, so he blitzed. Is blitzing again into the backfield. I wonder if he's even activating the Rat Ogre now, or if he's just trying to get some pressure back there. So Wayne actually lost 2 people, so they're 9 on 9 now. So I think this ESPN percentage tracker, I think, is slowly creeping back towards Juan's favor, right?
Yeah, that's why I was being conservative with my like 40%.
Yeah,
like it's
there's a lot of dice to roll.
yeah. I think there's a world now where you can kind of swing Griff over to the tree near the top of the field and have that tree come down and try to like tangle with.
Like next season, you're still on hiatus.
I guess you don't want to block into the
I don't know
fence
if I can.
lineman.
Nah,
Maybe the
that's
season
bad.
after, probably.
I mean, I think
have
you.
them in the here.
I think you
Columbia,
bring.
they're gonna build. So I don't have time for any looking after that. Hopefully.
Fair enough.
It's not activating the Radiger, intentionally not activating
Yeah,
the
it wasn't
Radiger
mine.
there.
Quit. But it had to. But
I'll do that.
All right.
Okay.
Pass the turn back.
That'll actually get rid of it.
Yeah, Rumbelow getting knocked out there could be the turning point of the half.
Could be. I think it really could be. Now you don't have any tackle
Well,
for the gutter runner that's on the field. You can't go hunt it.
Yeah.
It gets increasingly more difficult to stall because one of your blitzing pieces. Wayne got in trouble against me when he played because he blitzed with Griff when Griff had the ball and he blitzed into a wrestle guy and ended up rolling both downs. And so Rumbelow is good because that frees up your blitzer. Now your blitzer is like a tree or something. Now, earlier when I said you would fire your whole bench into Juan's team, I think you have to advise that plan since the start or the end of your last turn till now, you're actually down 2 people.
Right.
As long as you had a player advantage, it's fine to foul, and you still have people on the bench for overtime. But now I don't think that's correct.
Looks like you're setting up for a tree blitz on that kick lineman, possibly. Which that would free up some space. So if he goes there, your screen, you can kind of like have a screen built up. If he's able to knock that lineman down, then you can base the blitzer.
Yeah.
And then you just got to worry about the blitzer and a rat ogre. But the rat ogre is still kind of like screened off. He's going to have to make moves to get in. Assuming no roots, the trees can get into a position where. Okay.
All right, so there was like kind of like a forward position, forward pocket for Griff to kind of wander into. That was set up by the halflings. This is where the trees probably press forward some.
touchdown.
Yeah. I think this is
a little bit more of like Wayne's comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think where, missing a couple players, but you got the trees active. Griff's got the ball. You got some halflings you can reposition.
Okay. Big root.
Ooh, okay. I think that's a reroll gone.
Dude.
Okay.
Not root. Nice. 1, 2. Rush to hit.
Okay. He's been really cavalier with all these rerolls, with Juan's rerolls.
I mean, when you didn't have him going in.
He doesn't dodge when do that. Here.
Yes, he could block him down, but he wants the follow up because he wants to tangle with the blitzer there.
Right.
No break.
Okay.
Ranks are so durable.
We don't stand sheep shaggers.
I don't know what that means. I'll leave it up.
All right, you got to move the other tree.
It's not
Right.
I think you want to move the tree forward, right? The goal is to take the trees and try to pressure the rat over into cowering.
can't unhear it.
So yeah, I think so. We're in a spot now. I think my question would be: do you think there's incentive for Wayne to score early to try to get Rumbelow back in?
That is a tough call. The problem is, if Rumbelow's out and the other gutter runner is out, that's almost like an even trade.
The street.
If you take out, let's say, 3 more players of wands, I'd consider it. If you can take out the thrower, for sure. If you can eliminate the thrower from the game, get rid of the reroll, get rid of the leader reroll. Juan's got no rerolls, got no way to throw the ball. Then you shut off the 1-turn avenues.
This is some gold commentary over here. You don't have to stand up.
Yeah, I think the thrower is the primary target, regardless of anything else, just because of the leader. Yeah. As long as that reroll is there, that is target number 1.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think the tackle.
That guy. What's your okay?
Well, making a roll here for something.
He's throwing a block into the.
Since we have 2 dots here.
All right, it's eliminated the.
That's it.
Then here. It's not on the thread. Okay.
Yeah, I think just like limiting your hits here is huge.
Yeah. All right, it's turn 2 for Juan of the second half.
You just I don't think you can let Juan get 2 mighty blow hits in a turn.
No, you gotta eliminate. Yeah. I was getting 1 against Wayne, and I was still peeling guys at a pretty significant clip. Now, granted, I was way more. So he was way more scared of the Claw's mighty blow than he is of the Raddigger here. Right? Like he actually wants the trees to be in base with the Raddigger, even though the Raddigger has tackle.
Right.
It doesn't have claws, so it's looking at like an 18% or whatever to break armor. I think because it needs an 11 and it's got mighty blow. So
People with big guys. There are big guys.
This is a board position that will look very familiar to anybody who's watched a number of Wayne games. The team kind of clustered up, the trees flanking. Notice the trees 2 spaces apart. The rule of 2.
Griffin the forest.
Yep.
He was like the worst player on his team.
Can't see the griff for the trees. Something along those lines.
He could have been like 3 more brawls.
No, that's, I think, probably. Oh, okay. He's very expensive.
50, 160.
No, I mean, well, he was also skilled. Like, I think he had a lot of skill, actually.
So one's in the
2 or
tank.
3 skill.
I can see the setup.
I could see possibly an argument where I think he just leaves that Raddigger there as long as possible, because he could take sort of like a strafing blitz on a half with that blitzer and get him away from like a threatened blitz, and that might just be worth it to have sort of like a column in the middle that you can reposition.
It's kind of, I think,
those rats in the backfield there. I don't think they amount to much. I would base, so it's something Juan is not doing that I did aggressively was base halflings.
Right.
If I had a 3 strength dude, that dude was basing a halfling. You'll notice if you remember in the first half, Wayne was having to make dodges against phantom dodge rolls.
Right.
Imagine this situation. Imagine how much pressure you can put on the team if you do more of that. You're forcing those dodge rolls. You have to remember the psychological damage you can do to an opponent. Where if they take a couple rolls that they're favored in and they fail those rolls, then you can end up doing some psychological damage to your opponent, and maybe they make some silly plays earlier or later in the game, right? Because
Okay.
Scoring, you get dodge.
Let's move there. He's based the halfling.
Interesting.
Okay.
I guess Earl is just like a non-defensive suit.
Facing a tree.
Okay, he's thinking about basing the tree at the fit, dude. Is that what's happening?
Not score. Yes, like they start with some.
He's thinking about a tree blitz. Or like a blitz on the tree, possibly.
Still, like if I was gonna like, I don't care.
That's I would describe that as
one throw,
probably insane.
2 blizzards, one.
Okay.
Two blitzers.
Well, I think we're about to see it.
Oh my God.
I think you're right. I think it's insane, but I think it's about to happen.
This would be the worst possible. Like, there's so many ways this could go wrong.
Oh yeah.
For him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When you're on the talking strategy with Nez,
You've only got the one reroll. Like,
if I give one my vampire stab.
And if he re-rolls it, if he has to push on the first hit, Wayne can put him into a 1 die.
I think it turns into a 2 die uphill because the tree's 6 strength, and
it would be 7 to 6.
Yeah. And then the Griff would then provide an assist.
Yeah, I still don't know what you're.
You'd have to do something wacky like dodge the gutter runner into the cage, and I think that's just simply too insane even for Juan.
I was all set for it, but
It's God.
If only there was a tackle happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking at.
I'm not sorry. Yes, those halflings deserve to die.
Pretty good.
And I hope they rot in heck.
right, like they're doing
right over
30th anniversary tour of the stuff. Like Disney movies. Jen got us tickets, and it was on the 28th. So
right over from the true.
Okay.
I like Blood Bowl. I
Oh,
love
So the okay. So the Rat Ogre has used Pro. You actually wanted to use the Pro on like the hit here.
I've probably seen that movie legitimately over 1,000 times.
The tackle.
I would. Stupid tackle.
Okay. So
Tackle takes down the tree. Let's see the armor roll on the tree. The tree is fine.
That's the
Yeah, but he's not taking. He was taking chaos scores.
Okay, so he changed his mind. Saying,
Yeah, you still got movement left in this Rat Ogre. You need this Rat Ogre to not be where this tree is.
Yeah. Okay. Look.
Yes, just missed that whole battery behind the tree.
You could put the Rat Ogre in base with Griff, and things get a little sketch there.
That's nearly 100%.
Things get a little wacky. If the Rat Ogre moves in there with Griff. He's stopping his movement there.
Watch when I go home. Not even gonna like build up suspense and add yourself.
I would not want to leave this Rat Ogre next to the tree. I think things go. Okay, he's moving in there. He's getting aggressive with it. The Rat Ogre has based Griff. Both the trees are kind of like tangled up.
So was that a blitz?
Yeah, the Rat Ogre blitz. Yanni had to step away for a second so for those playing along at home. If you're wondering why I'm describing to Yanni the thing that just occurred, it's because he didn't see it. The Rat Ogre blitzed the tree, got the defender stumbled, used tackle to take it down, didn't break armor, but has now moved into the cage and space with Griff. So,
okay.
So the whole team is his whole team is tied up now. Now, this is a turn. Depending on how the dice fall, this turn could go terribly for Juan.
Yes. Well, just hit your turn.
I just go for it. So I'm not turn 10. Hit your turn 10.
Looks like we're trying to figure out exactly how the turns are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
They're good.
we've gotten it figured out.
Yep.
I'm back.
The tour play crazy. The tour play turns.
Interesting.
The distribution.
Yeah.
Somebody's always smashing the wrong box with their finger.
Right. Let's see what we got.
Keep spider others that are straight. Show. Agility, strength.
So I was 6. You were 5. 6.
Yeah. So 8. Reroll. Bring it here. Just every time you foul. It's a little bit more expensive. But a bunch of force gun ones there. It's 7. Armor 7.
Okay. So Wayne's going to be in the tank for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then failed the first roll.
Yeah. Okay. There's
Something's happening.
Then I got
that was
rush
a take root.
So waste another reroll on that.
Okay.
Okay.
What are we roll going?
Then take your advice. Right.
Well, we should be polite and use your turn.
We'll see.
It'll make Wayne feel better.
All right. Then this Radiger has stand firm.
Okay. 2 dice on the red. Would you like to stand firm?
Yes, you would like to stand firm there.
Not to get pushed into the tree.
Stand firm's insane here.
Yeah. If only the tree hedgehog.
Because the other tree could hit the Radiger if it weren't the case, right?
Yeah, you get that kind of yo-yo back and forth.
Yeah. And then like Griff could even blitz the Radiger or whatever. Nah, I guess he couldn't blitz here, but he could still hit the Radiger.
Is this a reroll?
Yeah. Does he have dodge? He does?
Yeah.
Wouldn't put it past us at this point.
Okay.
Dodge
Do you want to stand firm? Put him down right there.
Okay.
Come on.
All right.
100% valid. Like it's still alive.
Oh.
All
We have
resources.
a tree.
To get a little no armor break on the armor down Radiger.
So close.
I would be fouling this Radiger.
He did not break his armor. So.
With 1 assist, you're over 50%, right?
I would be breaking this Radiger. Griff has got to go. He's got to
Because
get
this
somewhere safe.
tree will block that guy.
Okay.
Slinty breaks ankle dive. 3. No. They have Donalds.
Okay.
We get 2 halfling catchers, shadowing.
So he's gonna
Yeah.
be able to knock that down. I think following here
Catcher, you're
really
ADK
good if you get to
catcher.
extend your screen, right?
Um,
Or do you want to stay
you would
there?
break up. You'd break up the tree pattern.
Oh,
No armor break.
second
Sixes.
straight
Six.
6, 7.
Sixes. Sixes are not sevens.
Fisted game.
Sevens are not eights.
Draw pillows.
Fives are right out.
Did you ever play Hearthstone like circa 10 years ago? Do you remember the Moz math? The 1 equals 2.
Oh, vaguely.
Yeah, that's like 10 years ago. Not to like make me Matt Damon aging .gif over here, but
Yeah, so we've got. Yeah, I think the next action that should be taken here, I believe, is Griff moving somewhere away from this
Yeah.
Radiger.
It's fine for the red ogre to be tangled up with the tree. So Juan is like way more aggressive here than I would have been. Because now I think the red ogre is actually in trouble. Now you did get Wayne to eat 2 rerolls, and that's something. That's actually something big here. It's actually something huge here.
Please 140 or 150, yes, sorry. And then Doom is 160. Raise their strength. Their attacks are actually really dodge this guy.
A dodge.
Okay. Every die that is rolled while Griff is standing next to this rat ogre is terrifying me.
Look this one.
He's throwing a lot of dice to halflings.
Okay. We're starting to see no punishment, so I guess we'll take that.
Yeah.
All right, we got an armor. We're gonna roll above 6.
He's also armored 10.
Okay.
All right, we got an armor break. It took 3 tries, but we got an armor break. All right, we got a stun. Yet to see a casualty, which is insane, actually. I think.
Yeah. Each team has multiple instances of mighty blow
and armor 8 or armor 7 stunty dudes. Like there should be at this point. I think at this point in the Wayne in my game, I think I had like 6 casualties on him or something.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5.
This is I think this is a very clear foul signal.
Yeah, looks like he's kind of retreat.
Alright, this guy's gonna go foul, so he'll dodge out.
This is dodge away from tackle. Okay. I guess the thought process being here, there's so many assists being given that like the rat ogre is currently facing uphill on Griff if he wants to take it.
Break on the foul on the rat ogre.
Okay.
Oh, the casualty takes the rat ogre out.
And Juan fired his apothecary for the game.
Juan did?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a 6.
Yep.
Oh, the rat ogre is out of the game. The ESPN win probability tracker swings back in Wayne's direction.
That is such a huge thing.
Yeah.
Obviously we're talking halflings here. Wayne's been playing the inducement game a bunch this season, and the first move that Juan made to affect the inducements was firing his apothecary.
Yeah.
And now that is coming back to bite him really hard right now.
Yeah. It was only a badly hurt. The red ogre could be back in the game, and I think this game might be headed for overtime.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Wayne lost a halfling, but took out the rat ogre. I think that's a real good trade.
That's like what, plus 200,000?
Yeah, I think that rat ogre is like 240 or something because I think it has 3 double skills or something. 270.
There's no.
Yeah, so it's like 240,000 plus
280.
Yeah.
Random, so.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So
yeah, plus 250k.
Yeah.
Griff is a lot safer now. He's not like completely in the clear because you still have the tackle mighty blow blitzer.
Right.
But that blitzer needs a lot of help against Griff to put him down on the field. Whereas the rat ogre, all things equal, the rat ogre would get to blitz Griff 2 dice.
Right there.
Yeah. All right. Something's going down. Something's getting splashed here. I don't know exactly what that block was from.
I think it was on a halfling of some sort.
Yeah, which one was that?
He's setting this out.
Yeah.
Precarious position because like right now you were staring at like you go in there, you're getting like wallowed by that tree.
Yeah.
You have nothing protecting you at this point.
Like I has to follow because he's frenzy.
Right.
But I don't hate blitzing. I mean, I don't hate basing Griff here. Just to keep some pressure on the ball. Something wacky can happen. It was the caster curse is what actually casted that Rediger, right? Because I talked about how we got to this point of the game with no casualties.
Yeah.
I think it would have been fitting for like the next like 4 armor breaks to all result in casualties. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
That would have been the true caster curse.
We need, I guess we want stunties to get casualties. We need Jeremy over there rolling dice with the skinks.
Yeah.
Loving it. Pretty cool. Dirty delay.
So obviously, you know, looking at both these scenes, we were talking about the one turn potential, and not that the chain pushing variation of a one turn was like super feasible against this team with the stand firm trees, but without that rat ogre, that is basically gone.
Yeah.
So now it's going to come down to gutter runners.
Yeah, right. Because you could do like some sort of wacky chain push with frenzy, and you could chain push with frenzy, and I think that would have helped enable the one turn around like through a tree setup, but Rat Ogre out of play really hurts those chances.
Yeah, I think now the big question for Wayne is like, what is so priority target, like number one.
Still probably
one of his priority targets is gone.
I think the thrower is still a priority target.
Yeah, thrower I think is probably next on the list, and then after that it's probably that blitzer.
Yeah,
and then from there it's like you can feel fairly comfortable if you can defend against that one gutter runner.
Yeah, you probably still take shots on a gutter runner.
Another guy with tackle. Yes, I would.
Oh, he knocked the tree over again. No armor break. Is he setting up a foul? Is he thinking he's got to throw the foul here because he's down his rat ogre? He's got to take a tree out. I think that's a logical fallacy.
Right. I think there's too many ways here for it to go wrong. Like if you break armor, there's a high probability to break armor on this tree. Like you're like you're rolling doubles anyway. If you get sent off here,
yeah,
like Griff has a fairly reasonable escape route.
Yeah,
you can take around. You got everything there.
That
tree is.
I feel like Juan is taking the bait here of putting all of your dudes on one tree.
That's plus 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we're getting a foul.
Okay, again. Okay. 11 breaks.
Okay.
The tree is broken. The tree is KO'd.
Okay.
The tree is off the pitch. Juan's gambit pays off there.
Big skull.
Got around the thick skull by hitting the 9 instead of the 8.
I think that was pretty important. He did not tree all his players.
Now with that tree gone, that changes the calculus here.
Right.
Much less for Griff to hide behind. It's Juan's now. Is he advantaged on players? Is he 8 to 7? Still good.
Yeah, I gotta keep going back and forth.
I think it's 8 to 7 in Wayne's favor. These are. I think there's like 2 halflings in that stack of 5 players.
So cool.
3, 6. I think this is a. I think that's a. No, maybe that's a halfling. Maybe I do some sideline reporting. I'll do some sideline reporting.
Okay, we got sideline reporting.
Sideline reporting.
Yes. We're streaming to you from lovely backup warehouse at Empire Games, which stop by and you can get a good view of this in person. We play games all through the year. There's a league going on. Next league starts on June 1st, and in next season it might be you playing this championship game, and we're giving commentary about how much we want you to be miserable in your game. So always something to look forward to there.
Yeah, something wrong. What's wrong? Not following.
All right, tree blitz on the kicker again. God damn it.
Like you said,
All right. Well, one hit him on 2.
All right, we're gonna tree blitz. What was the player count?
Yeah, it is 8 for Juan, 7 for Wayne.
Okay.
There is a rat down on the ground, and this the where the tree was in fact a whole bunch of rats. There were like 6 or 7 rats in that portion of the field.
Guess Griff's gonna dodge away.
Okay. Ooh, it looked like it was going to be one for a second there.
5, 6, 7.
He might be pressured. He might be pressured here.
I almost would like staying back a little bit further.
You could run the other side, right? You could run Griff. I don't think things get better if you run Griff towards your own end zone.
Yeah, I think I could almost see an argument. Okay.
Rush. Use them different session.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay, so he's actually lined up in such a way where Juan can just make like a
one dodge.
Yes. So if I'm Wayne, I don't know that I want to stall all that much.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I like this positioning of Griff, just in terms of
1, 2,
kind of
3,
leaving him
4,
out. Okay.
Yeah, it's
a little bit of screen here.
That's the way he plays it with these halflings. He'll use the halfling team to screen off Griff from the rest of the team. Losing that tree there hurts because that makes it much more. That makes it. He's down. He's out blitzers, right?
Dodge skill.
Okay.
All right. Halfling goes down.
How many ones are that? It's insane.
We should have kept a log of the ones.
Yeah. Failed dodges. Break on the field. Halfling dodge. The halfling is stunned.
One is popping.
Okay.
It's like burn through.
Yeah.
I get.
Man, what's our ESPN win percentage tracker saying right now? I think it's actually heavily tilted towards Juan. I think with that tree gone.
Yeah.
I think with that tree gone, Rumble gone, both KOs. There's a world where Griff is forced to score on this next turn.
Right.
You send the whole rat farm after him, right? Like you just the rats break away from that tree since he's only down. Since he's down to a tree, you send the whole rest of the team after Griff. Griff is probably forced to score on 13, and then you have 4 turns to score with Skaven to go up 2-1. That feels like a disaster.
Yeah.
Right. That tree, we didn't really like factor that in when the tree went out. It looks like a complete disaster at this point for Wayne.
What's there?
Let's see what he's gonna do.
Yeah. He's gonna blitz here.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Okay, so he's blitzing with the frenzy guy.
That's a push, right? Interesting.
Okay. I don't ever agree with that, but okay. I guess you get an extra block.
It's a splash.
Okay. Looks like you got some down here.
Yeah.
Scary thing now is you are next to this tree.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking about hitting this tree again. If he does, he's completely insane. He's a complete madman.
Okay. Does not break.
Yeah. Halfling survives for now.
I'm reserving any predictive elements for this half until we see what these knockout rolls are.
Yeah.
I think if the tree's out.
I mean, we're talking like it's a foregone conclusion that Wayne's going to score here, but I don't know. Maybe he gets a little greedy. man. He is.
He's aiming for the block.
He's going for the block. This guy is insane. He's clinically insane. He's provably, unfalsifiably insane for throwing this hit.
4, 5, 6.
He's this is some greed. This is the type of greed they write about in the Bible.
Yeah. This is gonna be.
He's
right.
committed to it.
Yep.
Oh my,
Move
he's
in.
insane. He's
2
insane.
dice.
He's so insane.
Let's see it.
Going for 3.
2
So
dice
3,
into
4,
the
5,
tree.
6, 7.
Who doesn't knock him here?
Debrief. What
Guess
you like to do? How many 3 dice blocks have I thrown where I couldn't knock the guy down?
I don't know if I agree with that stand firm.
Yeah, I think I probably stand firm. I don't think I stand firm. I think I go for the
Yeah,
push.
of course.
Is that
11,
11?
a
Yeah,
natural 11.
Mighty blow!
Oh, it's out of the game. What? He's clinically insane. He's cracked.
Roll it.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god.
14.
14. Is that
Oh,
the stat down?
the stat down.
Oh,
I've
no.
never
The
seen
stat
such
down.
lucky ass.
The
Oh.
we're might be eyeing a route right here. This you don't want overtime now if you're Wayne. I actually think you have to score if you're Wayne, and you got to try to play to
Steal the ball.
I think that's your route to victory. Is score now, don't get it to overtime. Yeah, right. You're down a tree. You're down both trees technically right now. You're not guaranteed to get that other tree back.
Yeah.
You have to try to steal the ball. I think you.
Yeah, you're in territory of like score, hope you roll a blitz, get Griff under the ball.
Yeah.
And hope that Griff can just run it and
Yeah.
Catastrophic series of turns here.
Yeah. This is one level Blood Bowl here.
Yeah.
You're never punished. Everything goes your way. The game looks so easy. You just automatically break armor. You automatically casualty a tree. So we got 2 casualties in the game.
Yep.
One against the red ogre, one against a tree.
Yeah. And one of those has armor 8, one has armor 11.
Yeah, right.
And we had a tree get knocked out also.
Yes, yeah.
So
yeah. It's the probability and probability curve.
Yeah.
The less likely something is to happen, the more likely it is to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Over to turn 13 here. I think this has to be score.
You got one reroll. You got one reroll. No trees. Did you ever watch Harvey Birdman?
No, I did not.
Okay. There's a really funny episode where Harvey goes to jail. And he's got a tattoo that's 13 and a half. And then the guy's like, "Oh, what's the tattoo?" And he's like, 12 jurors, 1 judge, half a chance." That's where we're at with Juan. I mean, with Wayne's chances in this game.
Yeah, I think the only benefit here is I think even with all the removals, he should still be able to set up 11.
Yeah.
And it'll be like 11 to like 9 at this point.
Yeah, and Juan's only got 1 reroll, right?
Yeah.
So the chances of the 1 turn happening are less likely. And even if Juan did 1 turn, that's actually good for you, because you got 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's doing it again. He's doing it again.
Okay.
Oh, the type of greed.
Okay, that's a splash.
Okay. I was about to say this.
That's
legendary greed.
I think you got a greed at this point. Greed begets greed. Okay, that's
A
another
break. A casualty here is great for Wayne. Okay, it's just a stun. I think you just got to dunk it in.
Yeah,
he missed the.
Yeah.
7 rush.
Okay.
Okay.
It's touchdown. We're tied up here. Probability tracker. I think I'm giving Juan I think Juan's like 70% here to win the game.
Okay.
Right.
It's not looking.
He doesn't
good.
have his red ogre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We gotta pay attention to these knockouts. It's gonna be the big thing. Tree's back.
The tree is back.
That might have been Rumbelow. Not back.
Okay.
The Gutter Runner. Mm-hmm.
Gutter Runner's
out.
back.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're setting up.
So we got 8 on 8. Wayne will be able to swell up to 11. All right, with the Gutter Runner not back in, I give Juan like a 55% chance.
Normally in a game of Blood Bowl, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But Juan is a dice rolling freak.
Yeah.
And he's not normal.
You know you got no chance of one turning against this tree.
Well, he doesn't want a one turn at this point.
I don't
right?
think so. I think he
just
wants to stall.
to-
I think it gets hard to stall from this position. I don't think it's easy to stall here because you don't have enough to protect the ball.
Yeah.
You do have the thrower. This is where I keep my thrower. I think I keep my thrower 12 squares from Griff.
Yeah.
Wherever Griff is, my thrower is 12 squares from it.
Yeah. Pretty reminiscent to like in Dollywood playing against vampires with Amazons. You keep your thrower at least 11 squares. Like you want 12 squares between you and a runner or any vampire at that point. Okay, got a 1 tree defensive lineup. You got 2 impactful players and then a bunch of fodder.
Listed entirely. See the back. I have to read back them. We also added these, so I should.
Yes, that's it.
There's to now. Build that tree, paper tree, stall in the journals. Just in the chat. Right, my dear. It's fast 6:30. You could be.
All right, we've got some defensive setup going on now for Skaven.
Or offensive.
Oh, offensive, yeah, right.
All right, so he's setting up off center. So he's actually kind of selling out on the blitz.
Yeah. None below.
So he's actually left a channel for Griff to come flying through.
Right. All right. Well, we'll see how this goes. That's like worse. Like a blitz here would be just incredible, right?
Yeah.
You can get halflings in the back.
Yeah.
To like screen off all these Skaven.
Yeah. I mean, I think Wayne's route to winning is a blitz, right?
Right.
Because Juan has not set up in a way where the blitz is like
tackles a very fun
considered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Now it's hard to do that with 11, but you know, without 11 players,
right?
You got 8. You got to kind of do what you got to do.
Okay.
So another area where you really would want that stand firm.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're getting balls being placed. Let's see where it's going. 5 to the 7,
straight back. That's I think
2, 3, 4.
That's actually fine for Juan.
Yeah. 8
is weather.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this could scatter out.
Okay. Yeah. New weather.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's the 10 you wanted for the kickoff roll.
Yep.
1 roll.
All right, maybe it stays in. Okay.
The 1. Okay.
Okay.
So now it is staying in. 3.
All right. So 1 got a couple squares from that.
I did not get.
Okay. He's got his blitzer set up. I think, like, if you get a shot on his blitzer, you probably just want to take a griff.
Yeah. It gets so much harder to defend.
Okay. So, those are squiggly lines. One of those should take it down.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
On a block tackle piece, those aren't skulls. This isn't a halfling who has skills. This might not even be a halfling anymore. Let's see what the injury roll is.
7.
KO with Mighty Blow.
Okay.
He's still a halfling.
So 8 to 10.
Yep.
At this point.
2.
I think at this point now you just have to keep Griff back as like a safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So he's. All right. So I think I would have bullied halflings here. But then again, inflicting pain on people shorter than me is, I don't know, like my thing. So
fair enough. We've got. What does he have to do here? Blue got Blue Ring as a second blitzer, I think.
yeah,
So
I think you throw that hit. I like smashing that halfling. I kind of like making a screen.
yeah, I think he's put himself in a position where like there's a chance. Okay, so he's bringing that around. And so there's a chance if he doesn't position people over here, like that blitzer and that frenzy piece just gets screened off from the rest of his team, and then it's like, okay, I can put a couple people over here, like tie up 3 for 3, and then I've got, 7. I've got +2 advantage on you, and one of those is a tree, one of those is a griff, and then that's not a great scenario for you. Okay, he is full selling out to this side.
And one of them, which.
May I throw that hit?
Just all I wanted to do with the.
Okay. No dead halfling. No dead halfling there.
Yeah, then I go grab the ball.
Yeah, this is his last action.
2. Yeah, we're just gonna.
It's not
Okay.
season 4, so.
I go to the back corner. I go even a square further back. That gutter runner's in a position where you can get the ball to it. Alright, this guy's making a dodge. Let's see if he falls over, trips over his feet trying to get away from the tree. He doesn't.
Throws remove 7.
Yeah, throws remove 7.
Is that 8 movement? 1, 2, or was it here? I don't know. Well, at this point, like, Juan is effectively taking out a good portion of halflings from play currently.
Right.
But on the other hand, he has also isolated that thrower out.
So this should be my.
All right, 14.
Alright, so one probability calculator, I think, is currently at like a 75.
I probably agree with that assessment, just based on this. Yeah, like a lot of those halflings are out.
I think you send the tree after the blitzer. I don't actually think you blitz with Griff here. I think you keep Griff screened still, because I think Griff is so important to your win con that you don't want Griff like isolated. You may have to send Griff after the thrower.
Yeah. I kind of want to see a world where you like put Griff in, like he can. Okay, yeah, I think like getting somebody on that gut runner is good. Like obviously you're still at risk of being like frenzied out, but
1, 2.
I mean, you got to put pressure on the ball.
yeah.
I mean, a win con here is a fumble on a pass too, right? That's kind of why I like Griff being in the vicinity of the ball. Maybe you keep Griff around midfield.
Yeah.
But I think you have to get Griff close enough so that he can actually hit the ball carrier wherever he might be. Griff has so much mobility that you do also have to be prepared for Juan to make the pass and then just cage up in the back corner over there, right? So you got to get some other stuff in the way. I wonder if you can even afford to blitz with the tree here. I don't hate sending halflings to their doom.
2, 3.
Okay, that brings the tree back this way. Let's try to keep the tree in the play. He's tied up the frenzy guy, which I think is pretty good, and tied up like a lineman.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like tying up rats here is big. Just you're trying to prevent a 3-die block on that halfling that's basing the gutter runner. I think it's
I actually think we might see a Griff blitz into the gutter runner here, because I think there's a world where Griff can shoot the gap between these two rats on a 3-up and then a 2-up, and then he gets a 3-die into the gutter runner.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, another halfling to try to pseudo pressure the backfield back there.
I think these are just like to give some sort of interception chance.
Yeah, maybe Griff blitzes the blitzer here. Actually, it would have been a sneaky place to put that halfling would be the one square to the diagonal there. So when Griff blitzes the blitzer, he pushes the blitzer into that halfling and then bases that
1, 2, 3, dodge. 5.
Okay, failed dodge.
Okay. Seems
6,
like
7.
Okay.
Rush to hit you.
Okay. 3 dice to the gutter runner.
Let's see what we get.
Griff still has his once per game, right?
I believe so.
All pushes.
3 pushes.
You can't use your reroll here, Wayne. You can't use the Griff ability here, Wayne. I think you do follow with Griff, though. That for sure is happening. That makes this pass untenable. You've got 2 tackle zones on it. The blitzer can only blitz 1. He's got to like make dodges.
Yeah, I do like that thought. Wow.
Now I wish that halfling was tied up with the blitzer there.
I think it has a halfling over there that is not
yet. The one that's on the ground? I think he's got to tie up the blitzer. You now a crazy, clinically insane, provably bonkers play would be to have the halfling stand up, make 2 go for it, dodging, and then going to make a rush and a go for it and dodge and base the tackle blitzer.
Yeah.
That would be an insane move. He's opting not. Okay, he's going back and forth as to whether to. No, you base. You have to base this.
Yeah.
You have to base him. He only gets 1 blitz. You got 2 bottles on the guy who gets the scoring threat. He only gets 1 blitz.
Which gutter runner is that? Do we know?
That's the side. That's the 1 turn guy.
Okay.
That gutter runner is in scoring position right now. He's doing it. It's.
Okay.
You're on 3. Skill.
Oh my god.
Okay. Now
these halfling dodges. They don't make these halflings like they used to.
Now we see if he's punished for not following with Griff. Okay. So the halfling is there.
They're making these halflings the same place to make today's jalapenos. Not as strong as they were 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, they've been hardy. You know.
These halfling this has been an above average halfling durability game.
Yeah. Each side only having 1 injury, and those injuries being
the big guys.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about how the big guys were kind of like a priority targets.
Yeah.
Okay, we're closing in on the end of this game here. What are we thinking about the wand win percentage chances?
I feel if Griff followed, you'd be kind of like at that 52.
Okay.
Without that follow, it's probably like in that 55 to 60 range.
Yeah. Griff may even get blitzed here, but I think you blitz this halfling. For sure. I'd be so tempted to take all these hits.
There's a world, so if something catastrophic happens down here in the scrum, and one has to turn over early, there's a chance that Wayne can get like 2 halflings on that thrower.
Yeah.
Which might be like fine, like if you just kind of like make your own like little mini cage around it. And just like you're gonna sit here.
Yeah.
And then you can have one of these.
Like if both those halflings get there, I base them with 1 halfling. I throw 1 die with the other halfling, right? Like you just need odds.
Yeah.
Right, and the halfling, a 1 die hit on a ball carrier right next to your own end zone, like right next to the end zone you're trying to get into. That's pretty good odds. That's pretty good odds of something going your way, right? It's better odds than you've had in a lot of this game. So.
What's here?
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
3, level 4.
Okay, this is where you need double skulls. If you're Wayne. That's not double skulls.
No, never punished. If I were playing in this game at this point, I think I would have. I'd probably have about 4 double skulls. Because that's just what happens to me playing corn.
Yeah. Corn is just a big lump of skulls, you know.
Skulls all the way down.
Yep. It's gonna be getting some ambient laughter comes through.
It's people in the game room having a good time.
Always a good time in the game room. Empire Games. Empire Games in Anderson.
We're open late on Fridays.
We are. Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is now there's not a interference or interception chance on this ball, right?
Yeah. I think Juan's going to throw this hit, and I think this is an undisciplined hit, but I think Juan is going to throw it.
If he pushes here, then all of a sudden there is a shot and an interception.
Then you're going to get shot at the bottom.
Which Juan is realizing at this moment.
Yeah. You have to push him the other way. But then you could choose not to fend.
To push you there.
I think that blitzer probably should.
What do we got going on? Yeah. Like, yeah, it's we're like a very interesting point in the game now. It's like both players are playing for different end states.
Yeah. One would love for it to end in regulation, I think.
Big file.
Yeah, they're both on the house. Don't shake them.
Griff is down. Classic.
Stay where I'm at.
Okay.
Okay.
Classic.
Not broken.
Okay. Yeah. The classic one would have been to break Griff's armor there. Look at the. This is a telltale sign of Wayne tilt as the hand movements in the end zone there.
Yeah.
The tapping of the board. This is.
So he's got. This is going to be a short pass, but he's accurate, I believe, on that thrower.
Pass it to the guy over.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 and a 2, and then it's got a lot of 2s so he can roll.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completion. All right, I think the win percentage is now like 85.
Yeah, I think at this point, like,
If I'm one, I think I take the TD.
Yeah.
Because your KO is an awesome gut runner.
Yep.
Wayne will have 2 turns to score, which is feasible.
Yeah.
But you've got outs if you're one in those 2 turns, and then you still have the 1 turn at the very end.
Right.
And that would give you 2 more rolls on the KO the KO to get back another gut runner. To help you with the 1 turns.
So this score here, so he has to roll. So he's looking at 2 pushes.
Yeah.
Which I guess, you've got to reroll for 1.
Yep.
And then from there, if you do have to reroll, you can just wait.
Yeah.
Still kind of a perilous position because I think at that point Wayne is full sending.
There's halflings all over the place down there for sure.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
Great.
All right, so he's.
Was that uphill on the?
No, it was in a halfling.
Okay.
Okay. So Juan has rolled both downs.
Down the tree.
I think you eat this. I think you save your reroll.
Yeah.
I think you absolutely save your reroll here because you can. This is inadvertently. Oh, he's spending it. He's spending it.
Okay.
Okay, not punished. Not punished. And
Breaks.
rewarded with a break. Rewarded with a kill, even.
Okay.
Good turn.
Carry that from here. Let's see what we're getting.
Rewarded with death.
Oh, poor.
Actual dead.
Yeah. Poor Tacitus Cutton.
There.
Not punished for the dodge.
Okay. So it looks like
is he turtling up here?
Looks like it.
He's insane. He's inhaling mercury fumes over here, man.
Is the tree based with a rat? That has to be based
Yes,
with a rat, right?
based with a rat currently, yeah. My God.
All right, we're on turn 15.
Well, this is a predicament.
Yeah.
Win percentage, Juan, I think it's still 85. Some stuff could happen here. Like, you can blitz with the tree and base the gutter runner, and then just absolutely dogpile him with halflings, right? And that might just be the play.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can set it up like you can do that. You can set it up to where Griff can stand up and not be threatened with getting two-died.
Griff's got an escape route. He can kind of cut off to the side back there, cut off to the one angle on a 2+, and the tackle guy's not basing him, so he's even like a little bit more secure. So Griff can escape out back that way. Now, if Wayne starts huffing mercury fumes, he could dodge with the tree because he's got the dodge skill and blitz, right?
Blitz the leading rat.
Blitz the leading rat. Put the tree in front of the gutter runner.
That's not even good, but that's bad because of fend.
Oh,
that's
you're right,
fend
you're
rat.
right,
So
right.
he needs to take this blitz on one. If he's blitzing with a tree, he needs to blitz on one.
Yeah.
Hope he knocks him down and then follow in.
Yeah.
Or I guess he doesn't even have to do that, right? If he ends up with a push, he can push him back and then walk, since that is a 3-moving trade.
Right.
So I think that's your safest bet. You can still get 3 dice.
Block, push. You need, only double skulls is bad there, right? With the tree.
He still has 1 reroll.
Still has 1 reroll. You need to save that for your 1-turn attempt.
Yeah.
Because you might need the 1 turn to tie it to send it to OT to give yourself a chance. I think Wayne's chance in OT is pretty bad, but I think his only shot of winning the game is somehow stopping this touchdown or the 1 turn to send it to OT. And I'd love to see it. As much as I want them to suffer and then both somehow lose the game, I would love for the finals to be kind of like crazy. And I think like a 1 turn to send it to OT is just like that's good Blood Bowl.
Yeah,
that's smart wrestling IQ.
I think my first, if I'm waiting here, my first move is get some of these rats based. Because you can't have them running, because that is like the worst case scenario. If something goes wrong here and Juan gets another turn of Dirtle, then you are dead.
Yep, you have no outs. You're completely out. And I think Juan chose to stall that turn for the specific reason of trying to stall the game until Wayne's dead in the water, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is the culmination of the entire season is in these last 2 turns. So Wayne's taking a while, but this is not timed. This is just full regulation, so he can do whatever he wants here. And one of this, like, the game is on the line. So we'll see what we can get when he comes up with his play and puts it into action.
Yeah, I mean you gotta think through this whole turn, right, before you start rolling dice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like even the like free moves.
Yeah.
Of like doing things are like you have to like have it all planned out, because if you go somewhere, if you go wrong here, that's gonna be the end of it.
Yeah, I probably take one of these halflings and I put it in the corner over there. One of those halflings at the 3/4 of the field there. I probably put one of those in the corner, and then I move one of the other halflings. The halflings in Wayne's backfield, I probably bring up. And the question you have to ask yourself is do I play for the ball popping loose somehow?
Well,
Wow.
All right.
Truly stoic.
Yep. Implacable.
Standing firm. Fully rooted.
All right. So that halfling's not basing anyone. I think basing like a. I mean, Juan's out of rerolls.
Yeah, I think you base as many people as you can here.
I would love for that reroll, because I actually think that reroll was undisciplined.
Yeah.
Right. I think a disciplined player takes the both downs. It ended up in a casualty anyway. But I think a disciplined player takes the both down because the
I'll throw this tree block.
gutter runner had the.
Oh, it's a block.
Not
Okay.
a block, not a blitz. Not rooted. Both downs. Okay.
Okay. It's pushing in. So I guess this cuts off like a escape route for the runner. But I'd be much happier if I was basing it. Right. Like what is? I guess I don't know what the end goal is here.
Yeah. So my question is are you playing to tie it and then send it to OT, or are you playing to win? Because if you're playing to win, you have to keep somebody in scoring position. If you're winning, if the ball somehow pops loose. But every single person that you use here is somebody who. Any person you leave in the backfield is somebody you might need for tackle zones to get the ball in the open.
Yeah. I feel like I would just love to have had a tree on the
gutter runner. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because then you could actually even flood the zone with halflings.
Yeah, like you could set it up to where you could theoretically just like almost cut off
2, 3, 4.
Wayne here. Like if you blitz, put the tree on the gutter runner, then if you just cover that frenzy, like if you make it so that he can't get assisted out, like trying to make a bunch of dodges. If he can't push forward, he's having to like uphill try to push. Like you're in such a good position there with no rerolls.
Right.
Like he's throwing disadvantaged blocks. You're getting to. And if there's a skull anywhere in there, then the game's like open. You have a shot to like randomly get the ball to Griff.
Yeah.
Look for the foul. Or just set up a bunch of dodges that he'll automatically. The shoe.
We've got. You have to decide whether you want to blitz Griff free or if you want to try to have Griff go after the ball. You have a 1 die on the ball carrier with a halfling. That halfling can just stand
2,
up.
3. Dodge here on 4.
Oof.
Which is good.
I think that halfling's done moving, but that's actually not a bad place for this halfling. I think maybe you blitz, not blitz, but I think you base this other rat with the halfling there. You base it on the far side, like you move to your touchdown side, like your end zone.
Yeah. So I think it seems like at the start of the turn, Wayne was like contemplating standing up that halfling, and then he set it back down and started making moves with the tree. So I think he was setting up for that blitz.
Yeah.
On the ball.
I mean, you like if you're looking for a 6, basically, right? Like you need the POW because the gutter runners block dodge. You need a POW. If you get it, I think your chances of sending the game to OT increase significantly. But if you don't, then I think Juan is almost assuredly
It's
scored.
still
Right.
just one die, even on the.
If you're going to one die, you might as well one die the ball carrier, right?
Yeah.
That's my rationale.
All right. Ball
Suggestions
carrier.
for next season. We
Okay.
don't have to get those little arrows. We can start drawing
Yeah.
just football diagrams here.
Yeah, so I accidentally do
Oh my God,
the
for what?
Madden drawing.
But instead, I get skull.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
you can't use the reroll.
Okay.
I can start.
Yes, a broken halfling.
I can start drawing obscene gestures accidentally, Madden style.
Okay. All right. So Juan is on turn 15 now. Griff is still on the ground. So
Oofa. That halfling is not in scoring range, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that halfling still is in scoring range. So something wacky could happen there.
But namely, there's not a tackle zone on the gutter runner currently. So he gets like at least one move.
So I think. Yeah, I was supposed to say this guy. Yeah, he's coming in for a blitz.
2, 3, 4. Okay.
Shove him out of the way.
If only halflings had side step. Oh, he's gonna do the full stall.
Oh man. And then it's throw halfling time. If the full stall. I think you moved the. I would have moved the gutter runner first.
Yeah, never punished.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Some players have to play their ass off to win a game, and some players are wide. So.
Breaks.
That's another broken.
Another broken halfling.
That's
Stunty casually.
Removed halfling.
Which halfling was it?
Oh, it was Engelbert Hornwood.
Hornwood. Tell Miss Hornwood her baby's not coming home.
That's gonna be.
Seems like a good one.
Where are you going?
I think you go right there. You can always just sidestep into the end zone and win the game.
Yeah, right there's one.
Okay. I assume you're not scoring here.
No.
And the win percentage is what? 90%?
Right here.
Gotta be.
Right there.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, brought him back, and
Just in case.
Just in case.
yeah, may as well. You don't want the ball going into the crowd, right?
That makes sense.
This makes it much less likely. You got some dudes who are screening there. Griff is on the ground. You foul Griff here? The respect foul? Disrespect foul?
General spot.
Never does that.
Watch that way.
Oh, this is another. For those looking to learn Wayne mannerisms, this is another telltale Wayne tilt sign. The glasses have been discarded onto the board in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, ladies and gentlemen.
Just imagine
the
yellow circle around the glasses.
Yeah, the glasses come off, and there's like almost no regard for where they end up on the table. It's important to remember when you're playing Blood Bowl, you're competing in two battlefields. There's the pitch, where much of the action of the game occurs, but also the battlefield of the mind.
Okay, so we got 3 dice on that halfling. There's a broken halfling.
Oh my god.
There's a stunned halfling.
We were running out of the players.
That's everybody.
Okay.
Griff is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Griff is out of the play. I think it is throw halfling. I think it's literally throw halfling with the tree.
There's halfling body.
Yep. Yep. The tree roots for good measure, sure.
That's fine. You rather roll the
Root
one
for the
now?
road
Yeah.
here. Pass.
Where are you passing up to?
Nowhere.
Okay.
So
It's deviating.
that's wildly inaccurate, I guess.
Yep.
A
It's
2.
not likely that you hit the.
Two.
Not likely that you hit the 6 to 6.
Oh,
That is the
bad.
Halfling Space
3,
Program.
4, 5, 6.
Oh, out of the play. Out of the play.
Armor's armor.
Doesn't land. Rolling armor.
Blows up.
It's broken.
He's
It's
KO'd.
gone.
It's KO'd.
Oh.
This is getting kind of hard to watch unless you're a sicko.
Yeah.
Is that Halfling got 2 go for it's to blitz the ball carrier there?
Well, I guess it's just
One.
up to this.
1,
Halfling.
2. Okay.
Yep, he's gonna 1 die.
You got a 1 die. You may as well take it. It's your 1 shot.
Juan's got no rerolls, and so maybe
Yeah,
the ball.
we're quickly approaching deterministic. Very close to deterministic here. Griff almost doesn't matter.
Three, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Actually, maybe keeping Griff on the ground was a correct call in case you do pop the ball loose and the ball goes into the crowd. It may end up in a place where Griff could get
That guy
to.
down there.
Well, this is turn 16, so.
No, you just want Griff to have the ball in his
Alright, I
hand.
guess I'll blitz.
Right, like even
1,
like
2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
okay, so 2 go for it. We got a
That's pretty
pass. We got a pass. We got a 1 die.
Nope, that's skull. Good game.
You got 1 reroll left, right? Or
Yeah,
is it all the rerolls?
I guess all rerolls are gone. So we were playing with 1 less reroll here then.
Breaks.
The Halfling kills himself. The Halfling kills himself on the way out the door.
Was that full coach Eb? Hildeberg Elvalon.
Insanely.
Take it down. Alright.
Yeah, it did.
Turn 16.
literally
I think
nothing.
that's the ball game. Juan could do the respect foul.
Yep.
Run it in, score. Juan takes it home.
Yeah.
Sometimes you play a game of Blood Bowl and it's like super easy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what happened here, right? Like they beat trees taking off 2 turns in a row.
Yep.
Like I don't know. That's it's about as easy as it gets.
Yeah.
Wayne couldn't buy a roll on that drive.
Yeah.
So
Wild. Yeah. Just a wild turn of events. I think you were. For the beginning of the game, it seemed like all the momentum was in Juan's favor.
Yeah.
And then.
Wayne was like clawing back some of it in the second half there, but the second half went off the rails.
Yeah.
It went way off the rails.
Yeah. It's like maybe like 1 or 2 errors in there that led to the thing. Like I think this game looks completely different if Rumbelow stays on the field.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. One would have had a blitz. I mean, like you got a free hit on Rumbelow.
Yeah, that took him out.
Yeah.
So it's like
exactly.
that's huge.
Yeah. And he never came back in, right? Like if you got Rumbelow on defense here, maybe something happens.
Yeah, like
you know?
yeah, Rumbelow would be
Rumbelow for open and the like that gut runner has to be completely safe and secure. So
Yeah, that's
there you go. That's the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what our plans are from here for the rest of the stream. We probably can just kill it here, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
That's probably best.
Yeah, you know, just unceremonious.
Unceremonious, yeah. That's it.
We're packing up our bag and going home.
Yep.
But you know, at least we got material to talk about on the last,
the very last
episode
yeah.
of the season of the podcast.
Yeah.
So.
We appreciate all of the support throughout the season.
Yeah,
It's been a blast. The podcast, I love the podcast. It's a creative outlet. It's a fun way to talk about the league. I get to trash talk people.
Yep.
That's great. That's fun.
Oh, okay.
People can't trash talk me because they don't get to be on the podcast.
Exactly.
We decide who's on the podcast.
You are not going to.
That's sick. That's fun.
Yeah, no ulterior motives there.
Yep.
So yeah.
We talk about how we're going to bring people on and then we don't.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's a power move.
Like,
Yep.
I wanted to shut the scene up and say it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Next season, no guests.
No guests. We're doing it exactly the way we did it this season.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're renaming the podcast. No guest stars.
Yeah. No free clout. The podcast.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's basically.
All right. Well, yeah. I think we're gonna end there. But yeah, if you like this, follow us on YouTube. We're gonna be putting up some more stuff like this in the near future, hopefully, as well as getting the podcast on here. Everywhere else you can listen to it. Check out all our socials. There's some sweet shorts going up.
Oh yeah.
By Donovan,
our social media team is so good now.
Yeah.
Like they're so good.
Totally cracked.
Unlike
this game.
Yep.
But yeah. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed and catch y'all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.